Hello, everyone. We're back. We're here. I know it's a different day. It's Thursday. It's just for this week. Next week we'll be back to Wednesday. But you can't beat a bit of change, can you? Now and again. And now this is episode 72. So we're doing fine. So as always, I say welcome, Delboy. Thank you so much for joining
Hello.
us. And
Hello.
my normal question is, what have you been watching this week?
Yeah. Well, it's been a bit of a strange time, really, but I have watched a lot of stuff on TV, actually. Like, that's not strange, but I've got a couple of anomalies that I was going through my box of DVDs, believe it or not, that's just purely got DVDs in. I picked up two titles in there that I haven't seen for a long time. And because I haven't been buying too much, there's only two things that have come through the post. So I'll tell you what I've been watching on TV. So I watched Cliffhanger. I haven't seen that in quite a while. I think it comes round on telly like once a year, and I think ITV always show it. You know what I mean? I can't quite remember what channel it was, but Cliffhanger came on. And ITV are going for a spate of showing Lethal Weapon. They've shown Lethal Weapon 1 to 4, right? And I think they've shown it twice in the last week. But I only saw Lethal Weapon 2 and 4 out of that.
Yeah.
Although I showed off my Blu-ray copy of Looker, I watched it digitally because I just needed to do a review of it. But I mean, obviously, I've seen it on Blu-ray a number of times, so that was fun to do and do a quick review. But the two films that I saw on DVD I think they're from the 80s. Somebody will have to correct me if I'm wrong on that. And that is Quiet Earth and Miracle Mile. And I'm not quite sure which one I enjoyed the most. They're both good films, both sort of disaster films, I suppose, in a way, because Miracle Mile is supposed to be is a film told in a day, just after a world war. A war breaks out, and everybody is blown up to smithereens, and it basically it's the stragglers that are left behind, and really it's about a couple of people. Quiet Earth is sort of like similar. I think that's to do more with a government sort of like experiment that goes wrong and devastates the earth, and and it's sort of like at the beginning it's sort of like one person. So but both films I really like because they're sort of like disasters. Well, they're disasters, and they're dystopian futures, aren't they? Really, they're telling a tale of what possibly could happen. So yeah, I enjoyed that. Then the only things that have come through in the post, I'll have to turn my back thing off. There we go. Is I think a lot of people have got this week, and that's Master and Commander on Steelbook has turned up. Now, what I remember about Master and Commander is that I do remember seeing it at the pictures. The other thing is I came away, I think, slightly baffled.
No,
it was a brilliant film. Really liked it, but I think it's because I'd seen so many films. I mean, we've all watched The Bounty. On TV, we'd seen programs like Sharp. With Sean Bean, and I think so you have to go back to when that film came out, and therefore it was like, here's this 2 or 3 hour film set on the ocean waves, based on a set of books that I hadn't read. I think there were 10 books I think this guy wrote. The person that did it took bits and bobs of all those different books and put them all together, sort of like stitched them together. I didn't know that at the time, but the thing is that at this particular juncture, when I'm watching this particular film, we'd had such films like Gladiator and all that sort of stuff come out. So we'd seen some really big spectacles, and this one was mostly set on the sea. Yeah. So you're really looking at a boat and the characters and these fights that are going on sea, because obviously they're trying to get back to Europe, aren't they?
Yeah.
So there are pirates and there are wars going on in the sea that you don't know that are going on, and there's this one antagonist, and that's what they're sort of like not hiding away from, but he doesn't want to cause a big problem, because that means he'd have to fix his boat on the sea. And in the film, they actually do have to do that. Otherwise, they've got to find the Galapagos Islands and things like that to actually rest up and fix the boat, and all of that sort of stuff. So they're sort of crippled. So all I was getting at is the film better than things like The Bounty and Napoleon and all of those sort of things? And if I put Master and Commander into those, where does it pop out? And I still think I prefer, like Waterloo, and I still think I prefer possibly The Bounty even. But Master and Commander is a great film, don't get me wrong. It's definitely up there and it's worth having, and it's to watch, and it's the cinematography is fantastic and all of that sort of stuff. I'm just saying, back then it wasn't Gladiator, and it wasn't, you know what I mean? It's a different type of film. And that's why I said I came away going, but looking at it now, I'm going, great. But if I start thinking about all of the films that I've seen it with a boat, I go, where does it fit in? Where do I put that one? And I and I go, I might have to do a retrospective of it now, because I'm not sure. But if somebody was to say, which do you want to watch tonight, Master and Commander, or do you want to watch Waterloo? I'd be going, Waterloo. Cheers, thank you very much.
Oh yeah.
And I'd be like that. Do you know what I mean? So, but if I was to ask for that or The Bounty, it might be The Bounty because of how far back you have to go since you last watched that film, because that's an 80s film.
Yeah.
With Mel Gibson and a very young Mel Gibson at that.
Yeah. And of course, there's previous versions of it, isn't there?
Yeah, and then of course you got the earlier versions of The Bounty. So, it's one of those things. You've got to flip the coin up in the air and say, hey, honestly, yourself, where would you put that film? The other one is a Hammer film that I forgot I'd have pre-ordered it, and I remember the reason why I pre-ordered it, and it's because Sid James is in it.
Oh yes, yeah.
So of course it's the Man in Black. That's the back of it. The Man in Black.
Yes, yeah.
That's the front. And it's only one of a few that I've got in this sort of like thin format, because I got Shatter the last week, which I got given, and the one before that was it the 4 triangle?
There was a 4 triangle, and the Quatermass one.
Well, the Quatermasters are in the big boxes.
The bigger one. Yeah,
they're in the bigger boxes.
Yeah.
So so I haven't got all of the thin ones. Do you see what I mean? I've got I think I'm one missing or something, or 2 maybe. But I've got the bigger ones, all of them. From Kronos.
Yeah.
So I think that's about it. Other than what you watch on TV, the odd thing, that you watch with your mum or whatever, and when we go back to work, it's less time now. So so that's me. Yay! Look at that. I did that in 10 minutes now. We did mine in 10 minutes. Go for your next 20-minute rant.
I'll try. Yeah, I'll try not to go too. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll start with Looker, because I think Looker's got a great cast. James Coburn and Albert Finney. I mean, really good quality actors. It's I think it's just enjoyable. It's sci-fi sort of thriller, really.
Yeah. Did you think did that look like to you, though? This is what I'm trying to say. When I first saw that film, and I tried to put it in my little retrospective, it's just a little short. I was surprised it was even at the pictures. I actually saw it on video when it was at like a Blockbusters, to rent out. And when I watched it, I was going, "Oh, this is a great straight to video film."
Yeah, but
it's all right. This, and of course, I'd seen it possibly previously before then, but I'd probably forgotten. Because Movie Drone definitely showed films like this.
Yes,
Alex Cox, and I definitely remember seeing it on BBC One or BBC Two, half after the 9 o'clock news type thing. What I mean? That would have been 80s as well. You got to look at it from a point of view that it's a 1981 film. It's done by the Ladd Company. The Ladd Company, by the way, did Alien, and Blade Runner, right? The Ladd Company did those films, and from that point of view, I think it gets a bad rap, but really, if you look now, it's actually so current. It's unbelievable. Commercial manipulation, AI. All sorts, right? Of things. With obviously the futuristic bit is the gun,
Oh yes, yeah. That's quite good. That gun.
I wouldn't mind that gun. But
I think what I found interesting is the fact that Albert Finney, you wouldn't possibly have thought of him doing sci-fi. James Coburn, I think James Coburn definitely doing sci-fi. But Albert Finney, it must be an interesting, when you look at his filmography. I find it quite interesting that he did it, and he was good. It was really good. It's just very.
I mean, I did actually think he was a plastic surgeon. He isn't that bad. You know what I mean? I mean, it's one of those things where I think I saw it as well at a time where I must have been in my very, very early teens. Is that my very early teens when that film came out? And that means scantily clad women going around in their underwear, a science fiction type background, futuristic gun, and computers that are generating 3D objects, which actually weren't that really. But although I did mention that it was the first time a 3D model had been used, because that's true. And this is before Tron came out. So so it is. I think it's quite an important film, and I think. And I understand now why HMV put it in their premiere collection, really, because there is significance for it. But
definitely, I totally agree. So what else? Now this.
Is this now going to be Muckman Corner?
You've got it. Yeah, you didn't say Tony, so
is it Muckman Corner? Right.
I've still got a lot of Tony to get through, but we're having a Jamie Muckman at the moment. Now, this one, I think it's Kiryu. This is one of those Kurosawa films. This is
is it pronounced? I think.
Is it Kurosawa?
I think it's Aikiru.
Akira, not the
Aikiru. Aikiru.
Akiru.
So in other words, you pronounce the I and then it's Kiru.
Kiru. Kiru. Yeah.
Aikiru.
Yeah.
I think that's how you pronounce it. Yeah. It's just funny because I remember when we were having a chat about doing this on Thursday, you said, "Oh, I watched this film and it's great." And you were going Akiru, and I was going, "I'm pretty sure that's Aikiru."
Yeah.
I might be wrong.
It's not a furniture making place. So.
No, it's not Ikea. No.
Yeah.
IKEA.
Anyhow, this film I think it's fascinating because it's 1952. So you think about it.
Yeah.
It isn't that long after the end of the war, which of course ended so dramatically in terms of for Japan with
Does
the
that make this
bomb.
before Godzilla?
Yeah, I wonder. I don't know.
Both films are black and white.
Yeah, this is it's black and white, and it's one of those films that I don't think everybody would like it, but
Right.
I really enjoyed it because it depends. It's one of those people that say, "Oh, there's nothing much going on," or "It's not really a great story," but it's not the point. This has a lot of layers to it, and it's a story. Really, it starts off this man. He works in this office, and they're all bureaucratic. Everything has to be done by the book, and he feels unwell, and he goes to the doctors, and basically he finds out that he's got cancer, and he's not got that long to live. And the fact that he's not got long to live changes his attitude, because he thinks, well, I want to get something done before I die. I've been years working at this place, and it's just nothing seems to be done because we all have to go by the rules and bureaucracy, as he calls it. And it's his kind of rebellion. He wants to. A request is put in by these mothers in this area. They want a play area for the children, and they're all saying, "Oh, it's on back burner." But he decides, well, I want to get this done. I want to give this, get it done before I die. And I know it's just superb. It just asks a lot of questions in the end. It's about death, about how you face it, and what you do with your life and what have you. I thought it was great. 1952, I absolutely loved it. And there's a whole disc on documentary on it about it all.
It looks like a very big box for one disc.
Yeah. Well, it's got this disc here, and then another disc here. It's 2 discs. So it's got the extras, documentary, and all that on
what format is that in?
This is a DVD.
Oh, DVD.
There's obviously a Blu-ray of this that.
Because
Jamie would have said.
Obviously,
I really loved it.
Muttman sent it to you as an upgrade, didn't he?
Yeah, so. I think it's a really good film. What I like about this film, it's a film that I might not have heard of or gone to before. And now it makes you want to think, oh, yeah, I'd like to. I mean, I've heard of that Kurosawa before, but it makes you want to watch more of these films, the sort of Asian films. So I love that one. Then the other one that I watched is one that I'll surprise a lot of people. You say, yeah, I've watched that one before. This was sent by Jamie as well. It's The Abyss.
Oh, wow.
It was the first
now just before you go on with that one.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you watch, first of all, the longer version? Or
yes,
did you
I watched the longer version.
Now, it's interesting because there was a documentary even in the last couple of weeks that talked about this, that said, I'll tell you it was that guy who reviews films with Steve. Is it not Steve Wright? But anyway, he begins with Kaimushu or whatever his name is. I forget what his name is.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's written a book about soundtracks, which is why I was interested in this little article. He was talking about whenever he watches a film that he knows that there's a director's cut, he'll always watch the theatrical one first, and then the extended one, because he wants to know what people saw the original first time, and then see. Because if you watch the longer version and then watch the shorter version, which I think a lot of millennials do, I'm not trying to pigeonhole them, but those people then look at the shorter one and go, "Watch that piece of shit. The longer one is far superior." actually sometimes the longer version is actually the one that's too padded out.
Yeah. Well, it's
know?
funny because I was interested. Do you remember when there was some controversy about it's a blink and you'll miss it scene, isn't it? About the rat, you know,
Yeah.
and all that. Well, to be honest, I was watching it and thinking, I don't know what all the fuss was about. It happened so quickly. I don't think it might be. It's probably censored on this one, but it didn't affect the film at all.
I'll tell you what it is. In the pan and scan version, you wouldn't have noticed, right?
Yeah.
Because what they did was they concentrated on the faces of the people that were putting the rat in the fluid and seeing their reaction. And then you saw the rat in the fluid and it had already got its breathing back, so it was all okay.
Yeah.
What apparently it's not actually this. I think the censors are just scared because of legislation, because there is legislation in British law that says you can't show something, even an animal, that's in distress. And the animal would obviously have been put in distress, and therefore you've got to cut it out, right? Now, if the censors turn around and go, do you know what? That was 20 odd years ago. Who gives a shit? We'll put it out, right? You'll have all sorts of animal people all turning around. So you'd never win. You'd never win. So I looked at it like this. I turn around and say it's Britain that loses out. Because all that happens is anybody that likes physical media is now going abroad to buy the thing, where that could have been in our revenue. That could have been in our revenue, because the taxes that would have been helping the stores and everything else out, and the government, all of that sort of stuff, right? So actually, all you did as well was heighten the reason to buy it. So everybody that had an Amazon account and Prime went, I'm going to Amazon France now, and I'm getting this. And we've all now got either an American copy that's in English, or we've all got French or Italian covers with English version in it, signed anyway, right? You've got one or the other. And to be quite honest, just think, if you got it from Amazon Prime and you got it through America, just think how much environmental harm you've caused just by having a stupid thing like a rat suffering. I mean, so we're destroying the planet to protect a rat. That's how I looked at it. When it was first announced, I turned around and said, so in other words, our world is sort of like blowing up, and we've helped it, and all to save one rat in a film that would have happened 30 years ago now, marvelous that.
I love the film. I think it's an absolute classic. I don't know why I haven't seen it before. This is so good. It's just it's right on my street. It's a really good sci-fi film, and the scenes under the water are just fantastic. It's a beautiful film. It's
the thing is you don't know where the theatrical cut ends.
Yeah. Do
you? So you've only watched the longer one, right?
Yeah.
So you've seen all the way to the end, and you've seen the devastation of this wave and all of this. Sort of stuff. I can tell you now, that's not in the theatrical.
Oh, right.
Right. So what you have to ask yourself now is, where does the theatrical one end?
Yeah.
And then you can decide and go, bloody hell, they cut a lot out of this.
Yeah.
Right? But that's what you've got to do now. So you really put the theatrical one in.
Yeah.
At the end, the last chapter, watch that.
Yeah.
And then you'll go, oh wow.
No
wonder people bought this on Laserdisc and that sort of stuff.
They didn't release the 4K, did they? People went abroad and got it.
That's what I said. You had to go abroad to get it. That's what I said.
So
The weird thing about it as well is that when it was at Blockbuster, it was pan and scan.
Yeah.
It was actually one of the early adopters for the Do you remember the 20th Century Fox widescreen range? You know, when
yes,
when
I
the
like the
Saturday
one.
Morning Tellers, the advert came on and said,
Yeah,
"Do you remember this?" Well, now you can be like this.
Yeah.
And so Star Wars, and it went widescreen, and you saw the Bond parts of Bond and Star
Also,
Wars.
it was great. Yeah, I loved it. Yeah,
Die Hard was one of the other early adopters.
Yeah.
The Abyss was one of the early adopters as well, and that was in there.
I loved it. I thought it was a great film. Absolutely, something I could easily watch again. It's a really good film.
Yeah.
Then the next one again, people are saying, "You've not seen that? What's up with you?" This True Lies.
Oh yeah, True Lies.
First time. This is. What can you say about it? There's nothing not to love about this film.
It's a fun romp.
It's just so fun. It's great, and Arnie's fantastic. Jamie Lee Curtis.
Hang on a minute. Just bear with me a minute. Just tell me, this came from Muckman Movies, right?
Yeah.
How degraded was the part where Jamie Lee Curtis is taking her kit off?
I know what you're going to say. I truly appreciate that.
I've got a funny feeling that might have been on slow motion.
If it had been on video, it would have been. You wouldn't have seen anything, would you?
You'd have had tracking lines. You'd have had tracking lines. But, I just wondered. Anyway, carry on.
It's a great film, this. It just what I like about it just flows so well, goes from one thing to the other, and it's fantastic. Absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved it. And then another film, people are going, "Hey, oh, you haven't seen that," but this one, I think, came back in. People were starting to look at this again because of the sad death of Gene Hackman.
Oh Christ! Yeah,
isn't this great? This is
Tony Scott. Is that Tony Scott? I think.
Yeah, it's Tony Scott. It's absolutely fantastic. It's almost got the Hitchcock thing, hasn't it? Going about somebody who's on the run again. It is superb, and I suppose at the time I mean, I'd never seen this, but at the time, people would have been going on about surveillance and that, and it'd be a big thing about surveillance. And this is early days. It's such a good film, and Gene Hackman's great, isn't he? In this, his character.
I think he was on fire a little bit in these times, because you had Crimson Tide and you had all sorts of other films.
He's so good, and Will Smith is good. You can't knock Will Smith, really. I think he's great in it.
I think his acting legs were growing when that came out.
Yeah, mind you, the script and everything must have just perfect. It just came together, and I think there's a documentary, and he kind of says he wanted to prove himself. I think Will Smith in this film that he could act, like this in a very straight role.
It's in a similar vein to Sylvester Stallone when he did Copland.
Yes, yeah.
You've got so many people turning around saying he can't act, he's only in these types of films. So what do? Something comes along where he says, "Look, I'll even do this film for free or whatever."
Yeah.
And he says, "I just want to act with these people," and all of a sudden you've got Sylvester Stallone intertwined with, what was it, Al Pacino? Was it in that?
I think you're right. I think it was Al
Pacino. And you're going, bloody hell, right? Sylvester Stallone acting with this guy. And I suppose it's the same, really, Will Smith, because it'd been with Jeff Goldblum and all that sort of stuff. And all of a sudden you're acting along with somebody who's just, with the person that's about to get an Oscar for Unforgiven, or possibly he'd already got that. You're going, wow, hang on a minute.
Yeah.
And you learn from these types of actors. Do you know what I mean? How to look at the camera and when not to look at the camera. What to do with hand gestures and all that sort of stuff that you possibly didn't even think about, and he probably also returned the compliment by saying, "This is how you do a stunt." Right? Or, this is how you do an action bit. This is how you make something fast like that. So,
it's interesting because Tony Scott is featured a lot in the documentary. he talks a lot about the film, and you kind of feel. I always, when I see that, I feel kind of sad because he took his own life, didn't he, Tony Scott? So I'm sure that's what he did.
They did actually come out. They did actually come out and say what it was.
It's so sad. It's so sad.
I can't quite remember what it was, but it was always. It's sad anyway, whichever way.
It is, and when you see him excited about a film and describing.
I think if I remember rightly, he was so far gone with his memory problem.
Right. Yeah.
He didn't even know it was happening.
Oh.
And that's the reason why
he took his life. Yeah.
Well, I don't know whether he took. You see, this is the thing. I can't quite remember what the full story was, but I do remember them turning around and saying, "There's no suicide note. There's nothing like that." He had an illness.
Yeah.
And that illness had made something happen that took his life. And follow suit. That's why the dog and everything was also in the fray of this. Because it's if you've got dementia and you've got a dog, say, and you put the dog in a room, does your memory remind you that the dog's locked away in a door in a room somewhere, right? That sort of thing can happen. And so, I'm not quite sure what the full story was. Mukbang told us in one of the chats.
Yeah.
When it was actually in the news. I can't quite remember what the full story was now, but I do remember them saying there was no suicide note. There was no.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Because I get it. Yeah. Anyhow,
most people that take their own life leave some note.
Yeah. I think that's nearly it. Oh yeah. One more film. This again was sent by Jeremy, and this surprised me. I wasn't sure what I was expecting. It's an Italian film. It's called I'm Not Scared. Now, it's a very straightforward film. In this period when this was made in Italy, there were loads of kidnapping. People were trying to make money, these poor areas, by kidnapping, say, sons and daughters of rich people and getting a ransom and doing it. And this is what this story is about. It's about they decide they're going to kidnap a rich person and demand the ransom. And it's this boy is really good. I don't know who he is, this Italian actor boy. And he stumbles across when he's playing, he opens this hole in the ground. And that hole is the boy who's been kidnapped. And it all goes from there. It's a great story. It's actually really a coming of age story as well. And I really surprised me. I don't know why. I just thought it was such a good film. It was straightforward, and I thought it was well filmed. You got a sense of where they were in Italy, in the hillsides, and where they were playing, and then you see the cornfields, the wheat, all the wheat. Absolutely fantastic. It looks so good. So this one is really good. I really enjoyed it. A simple story, and done so well, and just a straight crime story of kidnapping. And that's it. That's what I've watched.
Wow. Yeah. Did I send anything else? I can't remember. I think I'd sent you something you already had, which was Late Night with the Devil, wasn't it?
Which I've got on Blu-ray. That one I've already seen.
I'd bought the big deluxe one, but
did you? I loved it. I thought it was a great concept. Doing it like that,
I think I put in my little notes. This one is for you, Ian. This one is for Debbie.
Yeah, it works beautifully. I like the way it's sort of a throwback to the 70s and those chat shows, and everything seems to be going well at first, and then suddenly all hell breaks loose. It's wonderful. Absolutely love it. But I think that's it. Yeah, that's what I've been watching this week?
Just going to check on my mum because it's been 40 minutes, but I'll be back in 5 minutes. I won't be.
Okay, I'll start with the comments then. So let's just go to the top here. The comments. And then we have got the first comment here. Let me just put this one out. Yep. We've got Steve's Gaming Part 2. Hello, you oldies. Well, thank you. I'm currently fighting with a sprite subroutine right now, but I have you on the second monitor. Well, hello there. He's gone, but he'll be back. Yeah, thank you for joining us on the second monitor. Yeah, brilliant. And then we've got Sai saying, evening, gang. Good evening, Sai. Welcome as always. Thank you for joining us, even on a Thursday. Yes, we changed. We'll be back next week on a Wednesday, so it's just this week. And then T says, how are we doing, fellas? We're doing fine. Yeah, we're doing great. Hope you're okay, and thank you for joining us. And then we've got Sai saying, I love Looker. It's such an underrated 80s cult classic. It is. It blew me away. I knew it was going to be a sci-fi. That's what I had a rough idea about. And the cast, I thought, oh, the cast looks good. But it really is. It is. It's a cult classic. Yeah, definitely. And I'll probably get my own copy of it, I think, because it was a download he sent. Absolutely loved it. It's well worth having in my collection. Loved it. And then Sai says, I keep missing out on seeing Ikiru on the big screen. I've always wanted to watch it. Yeah. I bet it looks fantastic. I just love the film. It's just a film that really got to me. I don't know. Sometimes a film, you kind of understand about this film. You know, the way it was facing death. I just thought it was amazing because it was kind of a humanist look at death and how you deal with it. And I thought it was fantastic. And I imagine a good restored version, black and white, will look absolutely fantastic. I bet it looks great. I bet it really does. And I'm sure the Blu-ray does on this because I watched it on DVD. I bet the Blu-ray looks absolutely great. You know, I can't believe it was 1952. It just shows you how countries, which must have been so devastated by what happened, you know, it's dropping up bombs, immediately got going again, you know, and a film like that is so, you know, I just absolutely fascinated by it. And it made you want to watch more of those kind of films, you know. I think there's a whole wide breadth of Asian films that can be watched of all different types of genres as well. Dramas, horror, even sci-fi, I'm sure. Just a whole mixture of historical ones, of course, as well. There's just a whole mixture of fascinating stories, I think, that I'll definitely be enjoying watching more. Then we have got Rocket Bunny 71. Hi, guys. Hope you're doing well. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We're doing fine. And yeah, thank you. And then Delboy's put a thing. Hi, Rockets, hi, Si, and all you lovely people. Here, Reek Grand. And then we've got Si with his thumbs up, smiling there. And then we've got, I've saved you from insults. We've got Tony. Normally he gets a big insult from Delboy, But evening, Ian and Del. Hope your son and mum are as good as possible. Yeah, my son is recovering really well. I think actually he'll be going back to work next week, I think. His progress has been absolutely fantastic, which is I'm really pleased about, and for him as well. He's walking a lot better than he was, and it's great to see. Anyhow, watched HMS Defiant last week. One of your 1962 war picks, Ian. A bit like an early version of Master and Commander Del. Enjoyed it. Yeah, I'm sure Delboy would enjoy that as well. Yeah, I've not seen Master and Commander, but it does look good. Really good. Don't say aye to me, you miserable old bugger. Yes, I know. Love the insult. He hadn't given. If you were here, you know what he'd be doing, don't you? You know exactly what his insult is, and yes, he loves you really. Yeah. And then we have got Jim Jam. Is it Wednesday already? It is. It's Wednesday. Got now Thursday. It's we've time traveled. We've gone into the future. Yeah, it's Thursday. Yes. Oh yeah. We just had Steve's gaming. You need to do your.
Oh yeah, fucking hate the little shit bastard.
Oh yeah.
No, it's the law. It's a Judge Dredd moment. Yeah.
Right, and then Jim Jam says, an actress I've just discovered is Kathleen Harrison. She played Mrs. Thursday. What, on Wednesday? Sorry.
Mrs. Thursday on a Wednesday. Yeah.
Have you heard of Kathleen Harrison? I've not. I don't know Kathleen Harrison.
Doesn't ring a bell with me. I bet you named a couple of things she was in. I'd be going, oh, I know.
Yeah, I don't know. You must inform us, Jim Jam. Yes, and then Tony Hawk says, "Me neither, Steve." Yeah, as he says there. Yeah, Tony, he ignored us. The sod.
What's that about?
Yeah.
Oh, because I said high sigh, high rocket.
Yeah. There you are. You see.
Wow, tough shit, you miserable bastard.
Yeah. This is this is right. Do you mean Mark Commode?
Yeah, and I answered that. Yeah, that's the kid.
Yeah.
He's written a book, and he does this sort of like podcast. He does this podcast with a film creator.
And
he posed the question this week: are people that collected soundtracks a thing like physical media? Because what he was trying to say was he used to go. It was an interesting 30-minute interview.
Yeah.
He basically said he used to go to a place called 58 Dean Street, which is in London, right? And I even know about that place, 58 Dean Street, because I think they advertised as mail order in there.
Yeah.
And he said it was mainly a soundtrack shop. So it was all vinyl, all record soundtracks, but they also did some cassettes.
Yeah.
He said that people would go in there, buy their soundtracks, hopefully the most obscure thing in the world. He said the first thing he bought from there, I think, was Silent Running, the soundtrack to Silent Running.
Oh, right, yeah.
And he said back in the day when we didn't have video recorders and all of that sort of stuff, we would buy these records. We'd buy the book based on the film. We would put the record on and read the book and remember the film by reading the passages of the book. This was our way of reenacting the film. But now with physical media and everything, and even with that being in what he considers to be a decline, but I'm in two minds about all of that. He says, do people still collect soundtracks? There's very, we've got millennials that will buy things streaming online, so they'll have, He said, I'm not surprised people would be buying film scores. That's not the issue. But they'll be buying it on iPads and iPods and phones, and from that point of view, they're missing the big sleeve and the notes and all of this sort of stuff. Just therefore got the tracks. So it was an interesting thing to have, because I really wanted to shout at the screen and say, you do know there's La La Records, and they're doing all of these obscure films again and restoring them and all of this sort of stuff, don't you? Because this guy is so knowledgeable. But he was raising a question about soundtracks, and is it now an old thing, a thing that us fuddy-duddies remember, or is it gone? And this film influencer was turning around saying, I think it is a thing of the past. I think it is something. And I'm going, whoa, there's a big amount of people that are still collecting CD and records and all of that sort of stuff. And we're hungry to get expanded scores and all of that sort of stuff, just like anything, it's just, it had its day back then, and it's changed to match where we are in the world. And from that point of view, it's just collecting in a different way. I still don't count a digital copy of something as being something that's in my collection. I look at it like this, that I need to have the cover and the physical thing to actually say that I physically got something. If I've downloaded somebody that's done an extract from it, then it's no different than Napster back in the day when we were downloading pirated stuff. And it's nice to have a digital copy so that you can put it on your phone to listen to while you're doing a walk. But because I never had a CD Walkman. Take it like believe it or not, I never had a CD Walkman. I had a Walkman, never had a CD Walkman, right? But I did have an MP3 player, and I did extract my soundtracks. I did put them onto my iPod, and I did go for a walk listening to my soundtrack. But I had the original. That thing, right? I haven't bought something that from Amazon, an album that's the tracks, and say I've got the album. I've never done that. I just think, where am I going to put this? I'm going to put it on a folder, and I bet you any money my bloody drive will knacker up, and then you won't be able to, And I think to myself, when I'm cataloging, and I catalog my CDs in the same way as I catalog my film, I scan the barcode. Right? There's the barcode on a digital download, so you have to use other methods to catalog your stuff. You'd have to do you'd have to do a search of the folder, and it cataloged the file names. And then it would only, if it picks up the metadata, that's what they call metadata. All of that. Anyway, it was an interesting thing. I'm not trying to take up the whole. I'm just saying it was an interesting.
I would just like to make the same point as we do with streaming of films and that Spotify and all that, they don't have everything, do they? You can't. There's things that like physical media. You've got the actual thing again, as we always say.
There's another article. This is a guy that I don't watch every week, and it's because I agree and disagree with him on such equal matters that I just turn around and go, do you know what? I don't want to subscribe to you. And I think it's called Mid Media Matters or something like that. It's this guy in America, right? And he tells
the American one.
Yeah, American, right? And he actually turned around this week and said Microsoft have closed down all their digital servers in regards to watching films. So if you actually bought anything on Xbox,
you've lost it.
It's from Microsoft, it's gone, and they're not even giving you a method of how to actually transfer them.
Terrible.
Just
absolutely
close them down, and that's it. You've lost your collection. Bang.
And
I'm going, wow.
Terrible.
But I've seen it before. That's what happened with us with Ultraviolet.
At
least Ultraviolet gave us 6 months notice,
and they closed down, didn't they?
Ultraviolet gave us 6 months notice, and they did actually partner up with people and say, look, can you transfer your codes over to this, right? Microsoft haven't done any of that. They've said no.
Terrible.
We're not a movie platform. Really offered it because we were going down a route of being a media center. We're no longer trying to be a media center. That's not the way to go anymore. So we silently closed our servers down.
Yeah, exactly. So you've just answered and said, yeah, that's him, Mark Commode. Tony Hawk says, I'm terribly upset. Jamie's even got his own DVD corner and push me out. No, you'll be back. Don't worry. You'll be back. There's absolutely lots, Tony.
Tony, your days were numbered, mate. Eat shit and die.
There's still loads.
What a shame. You're on the sidelines. He only sent him 6 films at that. You've sent him over 100 and you've still got sidelined. What a shame.
We'll be back, Tony.
I do feel sorry for you. Not.
Yes, they're having a good laugh. Sorry, they're laughing there. I've seen an episode of Mrs. Thursday on YouTube, James. Oh, right. So that's it. That's what
doesn't ring a bell with me.
Was on about, yeah. And through the lens, Josh. Hello, good evening, fellas. Good evening. Welcome.
Who's doing some really interesting things by doing shorts. I couldn't do a film review in a short. I tell you,
it's very difficult. Yeah,
he's doing it quite well. I still prefer the longer stuff, but you know, still worth a look. And it's only due to work, and it's just like me, work. It's like, where do you find the time to do things and all that? So. You know, it's great that you've just found a way of doing it. You know, it's great, really.
Yeah, I agree. And then Rock Bunny 71, hello, welcome. I bought quite a few films on video in widescreen. Not the best way to watch a film on a small CRT square screen in a letterbox format.
But this is what I was talking about. You know, when those VHS films came out and it said, you remember seeing these films, and now watch it with the big screen. And it went, right? And you had the borders at the top and the bottom, right? This is what it was, one of the pushes that made me buy a Philips CRT 32-inch screen, right?
Yeah.
Because I wanted those widescreen films. I was fed up with pan and scan and so.
Yeah.
What you have to understand is if you didn't buy one of those, you probably had a Sony Trinitron if you're a movie collector, right? Because Sony Trinitron and movies go together in the 80s.
Yeah.
Boys and girls. I don't know if you know this, right? But you try watching Lawrence of Arabia in true aspect ratio. Square screen, right?
Yes.
I'll tell you what, it would be like that. It would be like that. Right.
Nothing.
You would have had 4 inches of black above and 4 inches of black below.
Yeah, and a little.
Right, and you'd be going, what?
Yeah,
like this. Yeah, right. So I remember all of those days, and I loved them all. I mean, I had a really good time. You know, with all of those. I was so glad when I got my Philips 32. I tell you, on a bit blurry. That better?
Yeah. I was so pleased when they started releasing widescreen ones. I thought it was great. You know, an actual widescreen presentation.
That's what I was talking about. But Ian, that's what I was talking about. The advert that said we're now bringing out on sell through widescreen films.
Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. It was, wasn't it?
They brought out, I think, 5 or 6 titles. The very first.
Mind you, there were still people complaining. Oh, I don't like widescreen. They've chopped some off the top and the bottom. I don't think they understood what widescreen was about. And then says back in the day, back in the day. Yeah, isn't The Rock trying to break out of the action roles with his latest film about the Ultimate Fighter? Yeah, I've heard some reviews that talking about that, trying to get saying he's had quite a bit of praise, I think, for his performance.
Well, I thought the Rock was trying to get out of action roles when he
Yes.
took on that TV role where he was trying to buy a football company where he was an ex-footballer,
What?
American footballer. It
Oh.
was called Ballers. That was it. It was called Ballers.
Oh.
He was an ex-footballer, and basically he then tried to be an agent for all of these different footballers. And then he tried to buy the team, I think, in the end, in the last season or something like that. But that isn't an action role.
Yeah.
Because he's an ex-footballer. In other words, an ex-footballer with injuries that meant he couldn't continue his career.
Yeah.
And he was just acting as an agent for all of these different other footballers, which have got immense talent. And he was trying to set up his own agent company. That is where I think he's tried to stretch his acting socks, and I think that this other one is probably him trying to do that now in film, possibly.
Oh, right. Yeah.
But I do remember Ballers is not an action TV series.
No. Si says here, Tony Scott stopped his car on a bridge and walked straight off the bridge.
He did.
Oh, dear.
See, we were talking about Gene Hackman, but Tony Scott directed that film.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
We were talking about Gene, though, weren't we? And whichever way you look at it, it's sad to see. It's sad to think that two people took their lives.
Yeah,
and they worked together as well. So.
Yeah, and you say, but very sad, both Tony and Gene. And then we've got Rocket Bunny 71. I should say I'm a new subscriber to your channel, Ian. Oh, thank you for subscribing. I came from Dell's channel. I've been enjoying your Trial of a Time Lord reviews. I'm a bit of a classic Who fan. Hey, no wrong with that. We're big classic Who fans. It's the best.
Yeah. Rocket Bunny and I, he actually was very, very, very kind and pleasant, and got a server together. This is a gaming server.
Yeah.
And we went and played sort of like a game called Valhalla together online. And an immense time, but just like anything, work comes along, and and you can't meet up at the same time, and you watch and see what they've done, and he saw what I've done, all of this sort of stuff, and eventually you just lose track. And it's nice to know that people that are gamers do also like their films. I don't like to think. I don't like to think of two genres that are not connected in some way, right?
Yeah.
And I've always looked at it this way, that just because I'm a gamer doesn't mean I didn't like films.
Yeah. And TV series and shows and
TV series.
Yeah.
We've all been kids at some point. We've all been to the cinema at some point. We've all collected and bought films together.
Yeah.
So why is it that one should dominate the other? Like, oh, I'm a pure gamer, really, so I'm not really going to watch this. It's why I tried to span out into films, because it was like, oh, films is my sort of like other hobby that I like. Gaming is one, films the other, soundtracks the other. Why? So I've got a lot of information on both sides, and even if I talk from a personally pure gaming point of view, the early days of computer games, quite early on anyway, there were licenses of films turned into games. There were games of RoboCop, there were games of The Untouchables, there were games of Die Hard, there were games of... So it was what Spielberg was saying. He said at some point there will be interactive films in computer format, and you will not know the difference. And that's where VR has come along, and we're now getting very, very close to being inside the film. It's not going to happen in my lifetime, but I do realize that, Spielberg, you were damn right. Technology just catches up, and when technology catches up, that's it.
Yeah.
It's not, like I said, it's not going to happen in my lifetime. And to be quite honest, I'm glad where it is at the moment. I much prefer watching something on a screen, rather than sticking bloody great big goggles on my head and watching it. but there are times that I do that, and I do that when I'm watching a 3D film. Generally,
Yeah.
My old 3D collection. This TV that's behind me that you can't see at the moment because my background doesn't have 3D capability. My TV upstairs, which is where it was demoted to, still does. But I've got 100 odd Blu-rays that are 3D, and I can watch them with my VR headset.
Yeah.
And I can still see them in 3D.
Yeah.
So Avatar, I can still watch that in pure 3D, and Avatar, all of those I can still watch. And there's other people that are going, "Oh, I've got a 4K telly. I can't do that now."
Yeah.
How do I do it? Oh dear. I go, well, you need to buy a VR headset, or you need to get your old telly back. I mean, there aren't any bloody options. That's what, you got pretty much that. So
yeah. Just a word on Doctor Who. When I get to Survival, I'm going to go to 60s Doctor Who. So we're going to start with William Hartnell and go through to Patrick Troughton. But obviously, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say I'm going through DVD releases. So there'll be I'm just going to do the complete DVD releases, because there is obviously somewhere it's a mixture of animation with missing episodes, but I'm not going to do those. Maybe I might do them right at the end. We'll go through, but I'm going to concentrate on what's available.
I'll tell you what, I wouldn't. I would miss out the ones that are totally animated, but I wouldn't rule out one that's got one episode.
Yeah,
because I mean, I wouldn't want you to, take away the 10th.
It's unfortunate, you see, because of Patrick Troughton happens to be a big favourite of mine, and of course, he's absolutely. It's devastating. There's not much at all.
What you've just told me is that I've got to bloody wait until you get to the Patrick Troughton stuff, right? And it's the last one you're doing, right? You've done all the colour ones, right? You've gone all the way to the end. Now you're going back. You're doing William Hartnell first, bastard. And then you're doing Patrick Troughton, right?
Yeah.
And that means you're ending on my favourite Doctor. Well, thanks.
Yeah. So there we are. That's what I'm going to do, because I don't want to do. I might in the future, but modern Doctor Who, even from 2005, it's not the same. But I suppose I might do it in future. But I could do. I'm knowing me, I probably will end up, but it's not the same as classic Doctor
I've always wondered, how big a chunk of your audience is there because of Doctor Who, or there because of X-Files or whatever. But all I know is Doctor Who, marvelous. I could talk about
exactly.
I could talk about it till the cows come home.
I think I'd like to get people to be more encouraged to watch 60s Doctor Who. I hope people would give it a chance. It's different, obviously. The pace is different. The acting is sometimes different.
Well, do you know what? This is what I used to do to people, right? When somebody was saying, I don't want to watch Doctor Who in the 60s because I think it's going to be boring. What I used to say to them is, right, okay, forget Doctor Who for a minute. This is what I'm going to recommend that you do. If you like this, what I'm going to suggest to you, then give Doctor Who in black and white a chance. Go and watch Quatermass and the Pit.
Yes.
So I used to quote Quatermass and the Pit, the BBC production, the one that was in black and white.
Yeah.
And I said, if you can get through that and you go, wow, wasn't that good? Right? I'd say, so what's your problem then with watching a Doctor Who episode in black and white, right? Because that's what that is. Right?
Yeah.
It's science fiction in black and white in the 60s.
All I would say to people is, if you've never seen Doctor Who, Unearthly Child is great. It's a great one. But but the episodes after, I think, are not very good. They're a bit tedious, a bit boring. But after that, honestly, it's worth sticking with. It really is worth sticking. Even the two-parter inside the TARDIS is quite good. They did a two-parter inside. But once you get to that Dalek story, the first Dalek story, you'll be really hooked. I think, would she get into that. And
Mm.
it, that's just my opinion. And not everybody will be, but give it a go. Give
Well,
Doctor Who a go.
that two-parter was filler while they were where they were,
Yeah.
obviously, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's they didn't know quite where they were going to be going.
Well, the Daleks, if the Daleks hadn't have been successful, that would have been it, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
The Daleks made Doctor Who.
The two episodes, the first one I think is called Mission to Unknown, isn't it? Mission to the Unknown or something, isn't it? The two parts not called that. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
individually called episodes, weren't they?
Yeah.
I think it was like Mission to Unknown, something like that.
And famously, didn't they did a Christmas transmission, didn't they? And William Hart turned to the camera and said, "Happy Christmas."
Yeah, that's a couple of years later, really, isn't it? Believe it or not, I didn't know this until much later when I bought the audio. The audio of it that was the second time that you had the time meddler.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah.
I thought the time meddler was a one and done.
Yeah.
But no, he actually got out of his dilemma of not having a TARDIS that he could fit into, and he actually was in the Daleks' master plan, wasn't he? Which is what we're talking about. And he was in the Christmas episode. He was one of the people that was plotting against the Doctor with the Daleks for one episode.
Has it survived? Has that?
No.
Survived? Is that it's missing then? Oh dear. That when he says "Happy Christmas."
Yeah, so that's why I only know of it because I was listening to the
I've heard people talk about it.
This was back in the day when I was buying all the VHSs, right?
Yeah,
and you had to go underground to get missing.
Yeah,
episodes.
I know, and there were terrible copies of copies.
Yeah, because they were all being shown on Sky, and you had to have rich people.
Yeah.
Actually,
I remember seeing, and some of them
recorded off of Sky. You know what I mean?
They were almost unwatchable. Some of them. They were terrible. Yeah. Absolutely terrible.
They were all on UK Gold with a bloody thing in the corner. Or whatever, right. But there was a lot of people that was peddling audio things like the Abominable Snowman. And, the Web Planet. They were peddling those as audios. And I was buying them. Because the audios are the same audios that the BBC used to actually make the animated bits. So you had the highest quality audio that you could get.
They were lucky that fans were recording them, weren't they? They were really lucky because they wouldn't have had the soundtracks to some of these stories. I know. Well, let's see. We've got Sai saying, "Oh, have you seen the film Living? It stars Bill Nye. It's a remake of Kiryu."
I love Bill Nye.
In the documentary, it mentioned it in the documentary, but I've not seen the film. It looked interesting that they'd done a remake.
I better go and check on my mum now while you just.
Yeah, I saw that on the documentary. I thought that looked. In fact, it'd be well worth watching. I think that one. Let's have a look here. We've got Joseph Ryan. I've just subscribed. Hi, Joseph. Because I love Doctor Who and lots of other shows and lots of other things, including films. Well, thank you so much for joining and subscribing. Yeah, Doctor Who, we love it. We love Star Trek, the original series and all that. But we love films as well and classic TV series and, all sorts of things. Yeah, we like a bit of everything. So it's not just films, but... as we say on this, ask us anything, So even music and anything you want, you can ask us. Yeah. And then Sai says, "I'm going to watch The Long Walk tomorrow afternoon. It's based on a novella by Stephen King. I'm really looking forward to seeing it." That sounds, well, if it's Stephen King, wow. Oh, I always think he's even mediocre Stephen King he's all right. It's fine. He's just a great. How many of his stories have been adapted into films? I don't know what the figures are, the numbers, but it just amazes me absolutely. And the quality he keeps up, and of course he doesn't just write. He's I think he's associated with horror, but of course he doesn't write just horror, did he? He wrote all sorts of things, still writing, not just within that genre. And of course, Shawshank Redemption, of course, is perhaps one of the most famous ones that he wrote that isn't horror. But yeah, I'm sure you really are looking forward to that. All right, here we are. We'll be watching Weapons now that it's available on digital download. Is it? Oh, hopefully then we'll be able to get to watch that, because I know Delboy seems to have a way of getting these downloads, so I might be looking forward to getting that soon. It's a film I really want to see, and of course, in the end, I want to get my own copy of it. I just think I'm really going to enjoy it. I hope so. I hope it hasn't been overdone, but I think I've heard so many good things about it that I just really want to see it. It sounds as if it's going to be right up my street, and of course, I think it's going to be considered one of the best films of the year. So I just can't wait to watch it. Up there with Sinners, maybe. Hopefully. Now, Tony says, here we are. I had a Hammer marathon the past few days of films I haven't seen in years. Dracula, Prince of Darkness, 1966. Oh, yeah, I love it. Oh, and Dracula has risen from the grave. Oh, brilliant. And The Devil Rides Out. Oh, great. Unfortunately, fell asleep during Mummy's Shroud. Not one of their best. Michael Ripper was the highlight. Of course, yeah. It's funny, you're right. The Mummy series, I don't remember as much. There may be about 3 or 4 of the Mummy films. Maybe I should give them a better chance. I don't know. You always consider the Mummy series a bit weaker, I think. But some of them are. I think when I watched them last time, I enjoyed them. But say it's not considered the finest, isn't it? But Michael Ripper, yeah, you've always got to be there looking out for Michael Ripper, because he'll pop up in whatever role, as a barman, coach, driver, and he's there. He just pops up, and you've got to love it when you see him. It's the Michael Ripper moment. Brilliant. What an actor. Yeah, to appear in so many of those classic Hammer films is brilliant. And of course, everybody's suddenly into Hammer now with all these special releases. For me, it goes right back to when I was a child, being introduced to Hammer in the 70s. Absolutely, yeah. I'm probably about 12, probably about 1972-ish. And I started watching the Hammer films, because they did 2 appointments with Fear. They did an appointment of Fear in the 70s, and then I know they did another in the 80s. But they were great, absolutely great watch. And I've got all the Studio Canal ones that were released, and I'm really happy with them. That's why I haven't gone for special editions, though I know these special editions are really good. And the next one, Curse of Frankenstein, is tempting, but at the moment, well, I've got to work out, financially, there's so many great releases coming up, and I've got the Doctor Who special collection coming out. Blake 7, of course. It's expensive, and you know, I'm really happy with the Studio Canal releases, but it is tempting. But you've got to draw a line and work out what you can afford and what's best for your collection. So that's what I have to do at the moment. Next year, when I retire officially, things should be better. I should be better off financially. So I should be okay then to get some of these releases. So I'm looking forward to that. That's something for me to look forward to. Next year, August next year, I'll be all right. Yep. And The Curse of Frankenstein is getting a screening on October 2nd at the Tyneside Cinema. I booked my ticket, obviously. Yes, it's well worth seeing on the big screen. I remember as a student, we had a series of Hammer films we were watching, and you can't beat the big screen. You're going to absolutely love it. And especially, the print now is probably fantastic. You know, the restored print, you're going to love it. You know, absolutely. What a great experience. And it's good that they're doing that. You know, you're very lucky, I think. A lot of areas don't have that. The Tyneside Cinema is obviously a great place to be. Probably screening it to time with a 4K release. That's right. 4K release, yeah. So, and here we are. So it says, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson looks pretty impressive in the latest trailer for The Wrecking Machine. Wow, that's good. I think that's good to see. You know, it can only be a good thing. Yeah, a lot of people love him, and you know, to see that he's in a more, if he's more acting kind of role rather than the action image, which you can still combine. I think that's great. He's a lovable character. People love him. You know, what more can you say about it? Yeah. Look forward to your 60s Who reviews, Ian. To be honest, I prefer those to the 80s series. Yeah. For me, I still think it ended Doctor Who with Sylvester McCoy, even though I did, you know, Eccleston and Tennant and all popular, and I did enjoy some of the stuff, but it still wasn't the same as classic Doctor Who. But I'm willing, I suppose, in the end, I'll do the modern stuff. But I'm looking forward to going back to the 60s because it's a fantastic period, and yeah, it's just great. Absolutely. William Hartnell. A lot of people, I think, kind of sort of Doctor Who fans think, oh, a bit put off by William Hartnell. But, you know, he's very good in the role when he gets into it. And the stories. There's some great sci-fi stories in those, and historical, because it was also known as that they do more historical, more straight historical ones in the 60s, and some of them are good. But a lot of people felt they sort of faded out a bit, I think. Particularly, I think, with the last one, I would say, would be The Islander, Patrick Troughton. They moved away from that. That's where it introduces Jamie. But I liked them. I still liked all the historical ones. It's great. I think William Hartnell, absolutely great. And because, as you know, Tony, William Hartnell had a great career, didn't he, before, you know, right from Brighton Rock. And he's in a lot of films around that period, perhaps not as well known, but he often pops up in these films as well, in 40s and 50s. Great, absolutely great. Of course, Carry On Sergeant, beginning of the Carry On films. Yeah, it was in that. And he's very good in Carry On Sergeant. I like Carry On Sergeant. It's kind of, I think it's because it's the first one, maybe people don't, because it's fun. I mean, I'm sure they didn't see it at the time as going to be a massive lot of films in a certain format. And, you know, they Carry On. But William Hartnell, he's great in it. Absolutely wonderful. Carry On Sergeant. And Bob Monkhouse. Who would have thought Bob Monkhouse appears in that? Yeah. Then we've got Rocket Bunny 71 saying, with regard to Doctor Who, I have to say I really enjoy the animated old stories. I found some real gems that rarely get talked about. Oh yes, the faceless ones, Power and Evil of the Daleks. I mean, as I'm thinking of Evil of the Daleks, I think there's just one surviving episode. But seeing the animated stories has been fantastic, absolutely fantastic. I am right on that. Oh, I got Evil of the Daleks has got one survived. I know Power of the Daleks hasn't got anything. I think all they've got is the introduction to, I think maybe first episode, but not the whole, none of the whole episodes. That's why they're all animated. Power of the Daleks, I really enjoyed the animation on that, and Evil of the Daleks. Yeah, Evil of the Daleks, great. But I think there is just one. I'm sure there is. I may be wrong. I may be wrong now. An Enemy of the World, which they found, didn't they? They found Enemy of the World. The trout, it was one. It was probably the last one to be found. I think they found it with the invasion. You see, it's going back a few years, but at the time it was a massive thing. And unfortunately, they said the invasion was complete, and then when we got here, is it part 2? I think is missing. It's the one where the Brigadier's introduced, which is a bit of a nuisance. But Enemy of the World was, I think, a story that people were a bit, about. There was one surviving episode, I don't think. But then when people watched it, I think they liked it more than they expected. But at the time, there was, I don't think it was one that people were initially excited about. I'm thinking, it's Enemy. They were looking for some of the other stories of Troughton, but I was just pleased to get anything Patrick Troughton. And will we ever get any more? I don't know. It's been a long time now. I'm sure undoubtedly there is some in private collections, but will we ever see them? Will anybody ever release them? I don't know. It's sad that people would hold on and deprive everybody else if they're there. I don't know. Nobody really knows. Some people claim they know, but it's a whole story, isn't it, about these missing episodes? It's almost like they like to keep the mythology behind it going, so people are still. Yeah, but it's getting less likely, isn't it, that we're going to find any more? I have those DVD, Blu-ray Rocket Bunny. Enemy of the World is a favourite of mine, where Patrick Troughton gets to play 2 roles. He does an Australian dictator as well as the Doctor. In fact, it just shows you again what a great actor Patrick Troughton was, and why we were so lucky to have him. You kind of wish we'd have had more Patrick Troughton. But he did his 3 years, and that was it. And that became kind of the norm then, that doctors, even though I say that, John Pertwee did more than 3 seasons, as they call them, series of seasons. And so did Tom Baker, of course. Tom Baker was massive. He had loads of seasons of Tom Baker, right to 1981, I think it is. Yeah. So I wish we'd have had more Patrick Troughton, but he came back, didn't he, for the specials? We got in the Three Doctors. He's brilliant in the Three Doctors. Absolutely love him in the Three Doctors, and of course Five Doctors. Oh, brilliant! Five Doctors. Three, they're the best of the Doctors joining together. Two Doctors. It's nice to see him, but it's the weakest of all these Doctor Who stories, unfortunately, for me personally. The other two are so good. The two Doctors just didn't quite work as well. Sad, but it's true. The first and last Hammer Mummy films are good, Ian, but the others aren't brilliant. Yeah, and I've got them, and I think I may have watched them once, possibly when I got them, and I can't remember them that much at all. They just didn't give the impression on me.
I'm just going to give a warning. You've got me totally from now on in 5 minutes, and
right. So everybody,
there's your 5-minute warning.
There's a warning
I'm giving you that you now got me to the end of the stream.
Don't please. I
will be back in 5 minutes.
No Jerry Goldsmith questions, please. No, we don't want that. No. Right. That's what I think. I think you're right. They're enjoyable, but they've always just seemed a bit weaker. I don't know why, because I like Egyptian kind of stuff. I don't know. They're okay, but they're not. You wouldn't put them as the best, would you? Really? Yeah. I'm trying to think of the original Universal one as well. I've seen the Universal one. Yeah. I can't remember it. It just shows you I can't even remember the Universal version of the Mummy. No. Let's see. We've got here Rocket Bunny 71. Are you both fans of Red Dwarf? Have you heard they cancelled a second 90-minute special they're going to do? I was very disappointed. Oh, yeah, I love Red Dwarf, and I think Delboy does. What can I say about Red Dwarf? It had its heyday to me. It was absolutely brilliant, and I've always enjoyed the later stuff with Dave, but I never felt they quite got the magic quite as good as the earlier sort of period. I mean, they were at one time they were just absolutely on fire. I don't think, but it's funny I say that, and yeah, it's Red Dwarf, and I'll watch it. I love those characters. Those characters are fantastic. But yeah, I saw that. I think it's maybe money as well, that it does cost. Even the special effects that they do, I think I think probably as well the aging process as well. I don't know how they'd get around that. They may not. They might just have them as really old. But does it look as good? Does it work? There's all sorts of sort of things involved. It is disappointing. But I think the costs, it probably was too expensive. Because Dave are not exactly probably a very rich channel. It needs probably somebody else to finance them, and they probably wouldn't be. I don't think they would, which is a shame, but it's how it is. Yeah, age catches up, and the longer the gap has been, I think it just shows that they're not going to do anymore. It's but All I say is just enjoy what we've got. We've got some great episodes, which will, are just timeless episodes, and that's what we should celebrate. Things unfortunately do have an ending. They come to an end, and that's it now. I think it's you can't get what we had before, because I just think the later stuff wasn't quite as good as when it was at its height. Really, they've always just felt something not quite there, which is a shame, but that's how it is. It's just
Do you remember? I said once, Ian, that in many aspects of what I talk about and what I do, there is what they call diminishing returns.
Yeah.
Right. You keep doing a franchise and it diminishes, and the return that you get back is less, and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And for me, Red Dwarf was as big as the Young Ones when it first came out for me.
Yeah.
And then they changed the title sequence around about season 3 or 4, and they showed these sort of like alien effects and all of this, and it looks like it changed its not resolution, but it was almost like, wow, you've gone CGI or something all of a sudden, because everything was, even the model of the outside of the Red Dwarf was a model, and the bug was even a model. And those episodes were good, but from that moment on, it started to be different. And then, of course, they changed Holly. Changed it to Holly, didn't they? And all that
That's
sort
right.
of stuff. And then it finished, and there was the thing in me that went, I feel like something's missing in my life. And Red Dwarf is probably it.
Yeah.
UK Gold brought it back, and they tried to bring back the essence of it, but because one of the writers, there was a dispute, isn't there, between, is it Rob Naylor and
who's the other one? Yeah.
One of them come back. You could sort of like tell that it was a diminished return. It was funny. It was good. I was glad it was there. But it wasn't like the BBC productions. And even when I was talking about it was cancelled, I was saying it was losing something towards the end.
You're right.
And then this special, when it was talked about as being cancelled, I turned around and went, well, I'm really sad about it, but in another way I'm not. It's one of those things where I was looking forward to it. I saw the article on YouTube. It said newscast. It said Red Dwarf has been, the special has been cancelled.
I saw that.
Do you know what? It's been a while now since even UK Gold brought it back. I was actually looking forward to it. I thought to myself, how different would it have been? Because all these people have aged now; they're getting older.
That's right. That's the important thing.
And I'd probably still like the humor, but would I actually think of it as being even lesser than the thing that was lesser in the first place? And I thought to myself, do you know what? Maybe the bottle that I've got of Red Dwarf is enough.
Yes, I think you're right. Yeah,
and I don't mean to alienate anybody. It was all I was getting at is that I even now I keep turning around and saying, Paramount, you are complete utter bastards, because when you had all the actors around, you had Doohan and Nichelle Nichols and all of that. You had the voices. You could have recorded their voices. You could have done audio plays. You could have done, because they read that were written for Star Trek, but they didn't do another cartoon series. They did things like Lower Decks and all of this. And I'm going, how hard would it have been for them, just because they could have even have recorded it in their own homes these days?
They could have done
did it. Right, the way that things are. Usually you have an actor in a booth with a microphone. They read these lines, right? So you can pretty much, with all of our microphones these days, you could probably have done it like that. And you could have had 6, 7, 8 seasons of cartoons with the original cast voices. And now you're trying to slot in William Shatner at 92 into a film that, some sort, just because you need Kirk around for some reason or whatever. And I'm going, you're just stupid, because you whittled away a license that would perpetually keep making you money. And many people, the only reason why people stay away in droves is because you listen to the execs that turn around and say, we know what trekkers want, or trekkers want, or whatever you want to call it. And that, you're turning characters that were made by males into females, and you're trying to do a reimagination of Star Trek before Kirk, and putting in equipment that looks like it's 30 decades in the future. I mean,
exactly.
I mean, in the books, Kirk talked about a hollow suite. And that's why you had Star Trek.
The problem with strange new worlds. The technology looks still way ahead.
And the problem I've got with Strange New Worlds is, it seems, I mean, when we watched the original Star Trek, he met Captain Pike in a 2-part story called The Cage. Was it?
That's right. Yeah.
Right. And no, it might have been called The Menagerie or something like that.
No, the Menagerie they called it. Yeah.
The first episode was called The Cage. Right. And it on there, he kept turning to Spock and say, "You know him better than me, because he was your captain, right?"
Yeah.
And in Strange New Worlds, you might as well turn around and say Kirk's not a guest star. He's a recurring role. It's like he's in 4 of the 10 episodes or something. You might as well say, if you get to 5, he's in half of them.
Yeah.
How come he doesn't in that episode? He hardly recognizes him and talks to him. He almost refers to Pike as being, he was required reading back at the academy or something. Saying, right? Excuse me, but now you've met him more times than I've met my manager in real life, right? You know what I mean? It's like, how can you not recognize the talks that you've had? So you're ruining a history. And you're ruining a history just to bring in a character that you think makes Star Trek, which is Kirk. My friend down the rabbit hole did an episode this week, and he said, was Star Trek all about Kirk, right? Which he didn't want an answer for. He said, I've only put that in because I think Paramount thinks that's what Star Trek is now. But we all know it's not. Star Trek is Star Trek. It's a trek of people that are going on a
family. It's again a family thing. It's all about
but it's almost like Paramount don't realize this, and they have to thread in Kirk just about anywhere just to get a name in it to make people watch it and make the fans go, Kirk's in it this week. But I'm now, as a fan, I don't want Kirk in it.
No,
I want this to be the great show before Star Trek. That's this.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Right now, I loved the first series of Strange New Worlds. Second one was, oh my god, what's all this all about? But I watched it. There was a couple of good episodes, and the third season, I'm,
you given up. Yeah.
Well, no. It's like, if you're going to continue down the same vein as the second season, then basically you're not listening, because the first season was gold.
Yeah.
Whereas I don't want singing episodes.
No, I don't want puppets.
I don't want episodes where everybody on the Enterprise turns up and starts turning into a Vulcan, and they've all got pointy ears and all of this sort of stuff.
Dreadful.
Which is apparently one of the
episodes. And it's wasting the stories.
You've only got 10 episodes now. You haven't got 26 episodes.
Yeah, you are limited now. Yeah.
Right. It's 3 seasons to make up 1 that we used to have. So, and if this is only going to go to 5 seasons, and you're wasting it.
You're wasting your time on these stupid episodes. Yeah. But I don't know. I find Strange New Worlds, what I've seen of it, I find it a bit hit and miss. Sometimes it seems to be okay. I'm quite happy.
That's what I'm saying.
And then other times it doesn't hit the mark at all. It just doesn't feel right. I don't know. It's Anyhow, I suppose you can argue it's better than Discovery. Yeah.
But that's
you
easy.
can argue
That's easily done because I had high hopes. The thing is, I had high hopes for Discovery. It started off.
I gave up on it at the third.
If I remember rightly, you
season.
had this Klingon thing that was going on, and you also had this creature on the ship that basically helped them travel faster or further away. That they right. It started off quite good, but I didn't like the idea, the fact that the Enterprise looked 50 million times better than the original Enterprise, and it was set before Kirk.
Yeah,
right?
that's
This
right.
is the thing I didn't get, right?
Yeah.
And as much as the books might say, look, Kirk did have a holographics thing on the Enterprise, you just never saw it because it was in the 60s and never been able to have done the special effects for it. I don't remember Kirk ever even talking about it. I think it's in the books. And that means that Star Trek The Next Generation makes sense to have it. And if you're doing a series before it, you should take it out as well. You haven't got the effects work, even though you could do it. Because at the end of the day, it's a piece. It's something that's written in a book, and it's something that you've made canon.
Yeah. Well, do you know what a cop out is? They do a cop out. They'll just say it's a different timeline.
Oh yeah.
You just say, oh, it's a different timeline.
You know, I will watch. No word of a lie. I will watch every episode of Enterprise over anything that's come out in the last 15 years.
Enterprise, a great series. It ended too early.
What I'm trying to say is everybody thinks of Enterprise as probably being the weaker of the four.
Not compared with.
But from my point of view, it was good.
Yeah.
And I like the idea that the ship is not all glossy. It's made out of that metal, and they can't even be asked to paint it, or that sort of stuff. And the fact that their weapons were grappling hooks in the
it's good.
They had no chance. They had no chance against anybody with grappling hooks, or guns that fire in space, lasers and stuff.
It fitted in better.
I like the idea that the Vulcans wouldn't give them the technology to last in space and all this sort of stuff. It was gritty. And then there was that big destructive weapon that came to Earth. A bloody
That's it. They had a whole season.
Firing line that sort of like put a groove in the bloody planet. You know what I mean? And then it got into this time thing, and this is where I started going, this time council thing that's coming back and saying it shouldn't have been like this, and all of this, and this is the future now that you've ruined everything, and of course
they had to go and work it out.
He was then stuck on an Earth where everything was all derelict buildings, and this was the start of the last season, and then it ended with this whole thing that our journey was being on was Jonathan Frakes' Riker.
Terrible. What a bad ending.
Story, and I thought that's a terrible way to end it. You could. That's just bringing in two people that they think the fans would enjoy.
They panicked because they had to. They thought, "Oh, we've got to have an ending. We've been told we're only allowed so many episodes." And I know, we'll bring in somebody from Next Generation. Oh, Jonathan Frakes, he'll do it. And
you had Maria Sirtis as well there.
Yeah,
and they were both looking at historical tapes, like it was something. It wasn't
well thought.
Like it was a Galaxy Quest or something.
Yeah, they just didn't know what to do. Oh, that'll do. Somebody must have just said that, and okay, we'll end it that way. Because you see, fans would have complained if they'd have just they wanted an ending, so they thought, "Oh, well, this is what we'll do." Right. Tony says, "I'm happy with the Blu-ray hammers. May get the odd one or two if they release them. The ones I have on DVD." One I'd be interested in is the 1950s. The Unknown. Yes, yeah.
And the likelihood is that will probably be done because the way that they're going, apart from this Curse of Frankenstein and the Kronos ones, a lot of people are turning around and going, "You what? That's the next one, is it? What the hell's this?" I mean, you wouldn't have thought Hammer would have brought out this one that I've got here with Sid James. The Man in Black. It's done by Hammer, but it's just like. you'd have thought they'd have brought in a couple of more known ones.
Well, that's why Curse of Frankenstein's been released. I think
You see, I think Curse of Frankenstein has been
they've given in kind of to people saying, "Oh, we've got to have something," you know. I can understand them because they've got to sell these things and charge what is it, nearly 60 quid?
But 30 aren't they like 39.99 or 60 or 59.99? I think that's the two prices.
That's what they've got that. That's what they're doing. Yeah. Right. So Ross says, great stream. Thank you, Ross.
You're right.
Yeah. Tony says, think the BBC were trying to educate the children who were probably the main audience during the 60s with the straight historical stories. That's true.
I've got a funny feeling that's why Blue Peter had it on so much. Doctor Who was a big fan.
Always linked. Yeah.
And BBC and it was almost like now we're at the new season of Blue Peter because it was always starting again in September. It was almost like it stopped, and then started.
Yeah.
No word of a lie. Within 2 or 3 episodes of the first episodes of Blue Peter for that year, there'd be a Doctor Who episode, right?
Yeah.
Linking them to Doctor Who. And it would always be the week of the first episode of the new season starting and all of this sort of stuff.
Exactly. That's why it stuck its relationship. The education, that was it. It was all to do with the education. Then we've got Rocket Bunny 71. I think they found Enemy of the World with Web of Fear. Yes, they did. Yeah.
And the speculation of the missing episode of Web of Fear, because Enemy of the World is fully back, is that there's some fan that wouldn't give it back or something. And
because they said it was complete. They said they'd found the complete. It's almost like somebody nicked it. Oh, I love that. And
I do know that there's this one guy that's hated amongst the Doctor Who community that they're always going over the top with how bad this guy is. But apparently he was the one who found the early episodes for them and did everything for the BBC. But apparently he knows the person that's got it, won't tell them who it is, and this person doesn't want to give it back because of he's going to get in trouble because the BBC.
And they always say, BBC, no, you won't get in trouble.
And I just think to myself, no, it's bollocks. I've got a funny feeling he's got it and he's holding out, and basically he's. I totally believe this, just purely on the basis of what I've read and what I've heard. I want it to be untrue. I want it to be exactly as it states, that there is just a person that is just scared, right? But at the end of the day, the amount of times BBC are turning around and saying, "Look, well, you can have it back. We need it for this.
A print of it.
We'll even, and all of this sort of stuff." But I do get also the apprehension of the bloke, because how many times have the BBC lied? All of that through the years and years and years that we thought the BBC were quality, and as we've gone down the list, they're as corrupt as the government, as I'm concerned, right?
But I think one of the concerns must be is how is it being stored in these private collections?
Well, that's the thing,
because it could well be disintegrating. It might not be able to do anything with it now. It might be totally useless. We don't know.
We don't know.
That's a sad thing about it all.
Film, especially that type of film, might be okay, because back then they were using quite a good grade because they'd record over the top of it again. It's one of those things where it was 35. No, was it 16 millimeter? Wasn't it? Sometimes 35 millimeters forever with videotape in the studio.
I think it was 16 millimeter, wasn't it?
But what I'm trying to say is, when they were sending them abroad, they were copying them onto lower grade 16 millimeter.
That's right. Yeah.
So we don't know which copy this guy's got.
And
if that stock is 60s brand new 16 millimeter stock, then you know that Movie Guy, who does a lot of stuff which I'm in awe of. He's an
yeah.
He's got tons of 16mm stuff and 35mm. He hasn't got a lot of 70 and so forth, but the quality of his are pristine, and he's keeping his in his house.
Yeah.
So as long as it's in some type of condition like that, we might be lucky. But it all depends. You don't know how much this guy is. For all I know, he's bought it at a car boot sale from about 40 years ago or something.
Yeah.
Any idea of how to keep it all together?
Well,
Doctor, I think I'll buy that.
I think one of Crusade episodes was found, I think, at a car boot or something like that.
Yeah.
The other Crusade one. So it does happen.
And it wasn't more than 6 months ago that they showed a picture of some bunker where they said, we found some more Doctor Who's. Watch this space. These are coming out. And I don't know if that's true, and that's why we're waiting. That's why we're waiting for an announcement.
Because I heard that that's it. The BBC had found loads of things had been handed into them, and they were going through this new new series, and was it Dad's Army and stuff like that they were on about. But we don't. The thing is, I don't believe half of it now. We've had all this in the past. You can't be certain what people are saying. It's one of those things. Tony says William Hartnell had quite an impressive career before Doctor Who. Ian, I've seen him playing quite a few criminal types, and he was in a Peter Sellers comedy I watched recently. Yeah, he did have quite a career. I've seen him in various films. Tony York says, I think it was the Web of Fear episode in which the Brigadier first appears as Colonel, then, that is still missing, unfortunately. Yeah, it is the unfortunate.
It's the battle scene, isn't it? That basically they haven't got. Is it episode 3 or 4? It's a battle scene, isn't it? Where they're
it's one where there's that went mysteriously missing because they said it was complete, and that one just disappeared.
But the episode, what I'm trying to say is, it's not underground anymore. It's above ground. Unit are fighting the abominable snowmen, aren't they? Above ground, and it's those sequences that are now missing, and then you got the last 2 episodes, I think, is how it works. So you still see him as the Colonel in live action, but you just haven't got the very first appearance of him saying, I'm the Colonel now. So that's in animation. It's one episode, and it's the third one, I think. I'm pretty sure it's the third.
It's annoying, but what can you do? Rocket Bunny 71 says Del's permanently in 5. Batten down the archers. All right, okay. And
I gave you warning.
The last Hammer Mummy film has the brilliant Valerie Leon as the main attraction. Yes,
she's another busty.
She might be a main attraction.
She was another busty person, like weren't she? Wasn't she in Carry-Ons? Hang on.
I think she was. Was she in?
Yeah, I think she was in a couple of Carry-Ons.
I wonder if she was in Cleo, and I think she was. Yes, I'm sure she was. And Tony says, I never got into Red Dwarf. Enjoyed Chris Barry in the British Empire. I must admit, I watched British Empire. I don't remember. No.
I don't know if it's because of his voice, where he was sort of like talking a bit like a toff.
Yeah.
But but this is no surprise to anybody, I don't think. I was also not a big supporter of Rowan Atkinson in the Thin Blue Line. I didn't really enjoy too much of that either. And I'm in a minority, I know. It's just that, there's certain things that you recognize Rowan Atkinson for, and when he was in that police thing, it wasn't Blackadder to me. It was like, what's this weird thing with him in a police uniform type thing. You know what I mean? To me, it didn't suit. It was like almost like David Jason that went from being Delboy and he went and did Porterhouse Blue and then did Frost, and you're thinking,
actually, I like Porterhouse Blue. I think
Don't get me wrong. What I'm trying to say is that stark difference.
Yeah,
I'm trying to get across. Porterhouse Blue, I can even remember the Porterhouse.
Yeah, I've got it on DVD. I'm sure I've got a copy.
I haven't got that on DVD. I need to get it.
Yeah.
But, Porterhouse on Channel 4, wasn't it?
Yes.
One of the early Channel 4 adopters. I thought it was going to be like Mr. Chips.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
But it didn't end up being that way.
Yeah. The condom scene.
He was a gruff old bloke.
In the condom scene, so funny. It really is. All them condoms.
I need to revisit Porterhouse because I remember watching that. All I'm saying was it's not Only Fools and Horses, and it'd been known for that for such a long time, and it was like, what's this?
Yeah.
And what I'm saying is it's the exact same thing with Darling Buds of May and all this Triffic.
I never liked that.
I could never get my head around it, and I was going,
I didn't like it.
My mum loves Frost, and I'm going,
it's popular. Yeah, I don't know how many episodes.
I can see Delboy, right, David Jason, in the early comedies before he was even known as that character, like the Lucky Fella and Sharp Take a Breath, and see aspects of Delboy in those characters.
Yeah.
But I can't. But obviously he's honed his skills and then gone to something else, into drama, and it was like such an abrupt thing that I was going, "What's this?" But the more you watched it, the more you got it. You went, "Oh yeah, I can get into this now." That's what happened with Porterhouse Blue with me, because that, by the way, is the early 80s, and it only been dealt with about 3 seasons, I think. 2, 3 seasons. I
just found it so funny. I thought it was brilliant, Porterhouse Blue. Absolutely. Then we've got Sai saying, "Will anyone be going to watch Spinal Tap 2? I presume you will be going to see it."
Does it upset anybody to know that I've tried to watch Spinal Tap 1 and got 3/4 of the way through Max?
Never
got to the end. I've enjoyed what I've liked, but I've been interrupted so many times. And I keep going to myself, this is such a film that I need to watch all the way through. I'm going to make sure I've slotted this point where I'm going to watch it again. And you know what? I'll sit down and again I'll be interrupted. And I refuse now to watch it until I've got a time where I can watch it all the way through.
Yeah.
And I still watched things like the Ruddles.
The Ruddles.
The Ruddles, that was it.
Yeah. Oh, the Ruddles.
And so I still really, really want to watch it.
Yeah.
So Spinal Tap 2, I bet you it comes out and I still ain't watched bloody Spinal Tap 1 all the way through. I bet you anybody that'll happen. I will try it again this week, maybe, to try and watch it again. I'll see if I can find a time where I can go, do you know what? I'm going to sit there. I don't think it's more than 1 hour and 40 long. I don't think it's
he might fit.
Yeah. Just every time I get to something like 1 hour and 20 minutes and some sodding thing comes along and ruins it. And I go, bastard.
Yeah.
And I don't want to pause it and come back and go, what was
it? No, you don't want to. You need to watch it all in one session. Yeah. Jim Jam says he's just finished work. Right. Thank you.
Well, I think it's bloody terrible. You should go back there now and say, I need to do more work tonight. I haven't done enough. I actually slackened off for 1 hour during the day, so I think I owe you 1 hour, and I think you ought to get back on the bus, get back to that place, and do another hour's work. What's all this slacking off crap?
Rocket Bunny 71 says, with regard to Dwarf, apparently UK TV stated They were no longer doing scripted comedy, which made my blood boil. A ghastly policy to have if it's true.
It's almost like saying we're not doing sitcom stuff, or we're not doing this type of stuff anymore. So what they're saying is they'll do live comedy, they'll do audience participation stuff, they'll do all this sort of stuff. But I think that's more a hidden truth in regards to we'll buy it if somebody else makes it.
Yeah, it's money. It's
they've never stopped. They've never stopped buying the royal family or any of this and keep them on repeat and only fools and that. They never stopped buying those, and yet what they're saying is they're not producing any more scripted content. And I think to myself, that sounds to me more like you're cash strapped and basically you'd rather somebody else do it and you'll buy it off of them.
Yeah. This is interesting. Rocket Bunny 71. With regard to Strange New Worlds, I enjoyed the first series, but was furious with the second series, as Pike has about 10 minutes screen time in the first 4 to 5 episodes. Ludicrous.
It was all. It seemed like every episode was about Spock, or it was about one of the people in the lower decks in the engineering team, or whatever it was, and you're just going, "Hey."
It's interesting here. He says, the third comment I see, Star Trek again. Thoughts on Picard season 3? To me, it was the unofficial, 8th season of Star Trek Next Generation. Yesterday's Enterprise, it was full of fan service, but it made me laugh, cry, and cheer aloud. I agree. That third season of Picard is just wonderful. It's gorgeous. Absolutely wonderful. It makes up for all the bad things that we've seen. And I'm so glad.
Tell me something, Ian. How many times have you watched the third season of Star Trek Picard?
Only a couple of times.
I've seen it 4. I've seen it 4 times.
Yeah.
The first time I couldn't believe my eyes.
Yeah.
Second time, I just got it on Steelbook.
Yeah.
I wanted to see what it was like in Blu-ray through a Blu-ray player and all, and that. The third and fourth time, admittedly, was digital.
Yeah.
Again. But I saw things in it that I didn't see in the first 2 times.
Oh, wow.
That told me what a good series it was.
Yeah. And
sometimes I get a hankering that I want to watch it for a 5th time.
Well, you can see why the fans were saying we've got to have a legacy series now starring
7 of 9.
Yeah, that's it. Well, you can see why people wanted that, but I don't think they'll do it. They won't do it, will they?
The thing about it is that the licenses have changed, haven't they? Again.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There is the company. There was a thing about that, wasn't there?
So hasn't it now been transferred totally over to Bad Robot as a production team?
It has. It's changed. The company has changed. Yeah.
And the thing is that I think a lot of speculation was there saying, do you know what? If you've done that, the best thing you could do is get rid of Kurtzman. Sod him off.
Yeah.
Get him out of there.
They haven't, have they?
Well, I don't know. They haven't done it yet.
I'm sure he's been confirmed again as still dealing with Star Trek. Yeah. Because a lot of people were disappointed. They thought, oh, yeah, we're going to get rid of him now. But
I don't know. It's early days. I mean, I only heard that about 3 months ago, I think.
Yeah.
So nothing's in the pipeline or production wise I know of. So at the end of the day, he might be gone for all I know, and they haven't announced anything yet.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's I just know that what they're showing at the moment is stuff that was made a year ago. So he was still around then, and that's why you think that he's still probably around. But this Bad Robot deal thing, where the rights have gone from Paramount have sold it again, or whatever.
Yeah,
what they're saying.
Yeah.
Basically means that for all I know, we're in good hands. It could be that
Hopefully, I would hope so. That would
and
be
you've got
great.
you've got more like J.R. Abrahams taking the whole, because Bad Robot was his company, wasn't it? Bad Robot.
That would be great, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. But the longer you leave it, the kind of, you think it's not going to happen. Because don't forget, they're going to be all concentrating on.
There was even a rumor. There was even a rumor that there's going to be another Fringe.
Really?
Yeah.
Fringe.
Yeah.
Wow. I think that is a show that would. I would be surprised. I wouldn't.
I was trying. I mean, there's no word of a lie. Apparently, it's a rumor, right?
Yeah.
And then when I hear a rumor, I go, "Do you know what? Somebody's seriously trying to do this to come up with a comedy element." They're going. I'm going. What's the new series called? Is it called Outer Edge? Because it was the other one was called Fringe. Some sort of joke on what the title might be.
Do you know? I don't like
Frayed Edge.
Right.
You know what I mean? You could probably think of it. I'll tell you what, all you guys that are much more funnier than I am, which is all of you, right?
Yeah.
Think of a what the title should be of a prequel or follow-up to Fringe.
Yeah.
Right? It's called Fringe. So there's your clue. So now go out there and think of something. You know what I mean?
Hairdressers. No.
Yeah. Fringe, yeah.
Or barbers.
Or Beehive.
Beehive. Yeah, that would be all right. Yeah. The bees.
Long-haired grebe, I don't know.
Yeah.
Ponytail.
And then we've got Mer from the Philippines. Hello, Mer. Count me in. Hello, guys. Better late than never. Thank you, Mer, for coming. Thank you so much. And then we've got Steve's Gaming Part 2. Red Dwarf was awesome up until about series 6 and 7, and then it went downhill. And the last 2 series have been quite dismal, in my opinion. I know what you mean. I think. Yeah. What can you say? Yeah, I'm not really unhappy if it doesn't come back. Really, as we said.
But it's one of those things. Like I said, a lot of fans are going to just turn around and they're just going to turn around at anything to get them back, right? But if you think retrospectively about what I was saying in regards to diminished returns, might just want to just keep what you got. And be happy. Yeah, I wouldn't stop them doing a cartoon of it.
Oh that's an interesting one. Yeah, that could refresh it. That could refresh it.
I mean, talk about a way of getting younger audience to go back over your old stock by introducing them as cartoon characters, and then your mum and dad turn around saying, "I remember when they were real people," and then they go and watch all the videos.
Well, the only thing in the writing, though, would you still make it a bit more adult, or would it become more? Would it lose some of that? Because the humor is very adult humor.
Yeah, possibly, but I don't think. I think when we look at language now, we knew what smeg was, right?
Yeah,
smeg, the horrible word, really. Yeah, right. But we've got bloody freezers that are called smeg now.
Yeah, we have.
Kids can go around saying smeg, 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 and you wouldn't get collared, hit round the head or whatever. But we knew that it was smegma.
Yeah.
Right, and we know what that is.
Yeah.
We go, ooh.
Yeah.
Right. But you don't bat an eyelid now, so you could probably make up your own language.
Yeah.
With these things like Firefly was a different language. They used a different language to do swear words. They made up new words, swear words, right? You had to sort of like learn it like the same way Clockwork Orange is a different language.
Yeah.
I mean, if you read the book Clockwork Orange, if I remember rightly, there's a whole
their own language.
There's a passage in the back telling you what all the words are.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. There is.
Yeah. Because it's a whole new vocabulary.
Yeah.
So, when it comes to cartoons, I think cartoons, we got away with murder as kids.
Yeah.
Captain Pugwash and,
Yeah.
and a lot, the Magic Roundabout, all
Yeah.
stuff, right?
Have
Whichever way.
other things that you, as a child, you might not have noticed, but as an adult,
You knew full,
Yeah.
you knew full well when you got to adults, and how did they get away with that?
Yeah. I mean,
I didn't notice it as a kid, but oh my god, now it's
Yeah.
like pure daylight now.
Yeah. I mean, when you see Dylan that playing his guitar, he's just stoned. You know he's stoned. He's an hippie, isn't he? He's stoned out of his head.
You know what I mean? It's like, how do you get away with it? Murder. Murder. You got away with murder in there.
Yeah.
And if you can, if Grange Hill can pave the way for Zammo to take drugs and be on smack, then why can't you broach things in a cartoon in a more adult way?
Yeah.
I haven't watched cartoons.
I bet. I mean, nowadays they probably do vaping and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Wouldn't they? Mobile phones. That would be an issue, and there'd be all these issues. Right. We've got here. Tony said, "Giving up on new Trek altogether. I'd rather give the time to rewatching older series. I know I'll enjoy. I understand totally. Not just older Trek series, but things like the ITC adventures and 50s and 60s American westerns. I understand totally where you're coming from on that." We've got a bit more here. Series such as Rawhide. Oh yeah, Clint Eastwood's first.
Oh, the Lone Gunman.
Yeah,
I've watched. I haven't seen Champion the Wonder Horse in years. I saw the Lone Ranger, I think, on one of the Rewind channels a while back. I don't mind going back to that sort of stuff.
Well, what about Doug McClure in the Virginian and all that?
Oh, the Virginian! Wow!
Yeah, do you remember the Virginian?
Yeah, just about.
Yeah, because that's where Doug McClure. People probably remember him more for the films, but he was in the Western before that, wasn't he?
Yeah. He was that clean cut, sort of clean shaved goodie of the Westerns, where all the others were half, had stubble and.
Because they used to show the Virginian and Gunsmoke and High Chaparral. They were quite big series, weren't they? They're big. Yeah.
Well, we all know just how good the theme tunes were for Bonanza and the High Chaparral and all of that sort of stuff. I mean, they're just in our minds. I think a lot of people might not know what they were like for the Virginian and all of that. The Lone Gunman. I remember when I think of the Lone Gunman in my head, I can't remember the tune, but in my head, I can see the shadow of a man going along the floor that you see. That's what you see as the titles. It's not the old character walking; it's the shadow walking across the room with a gun, silhouetted. But I'm Lord Green and all of that sort of stuff. Oh,
and of course, you remember the other one was a Quinn Martin production.
You know that. I mean, don't start me on the Invaders. Don't start me.
Quinn Martin production.
Jesus, I'll be gushing for about.
Yeah, I know you will. Right. We're probably waiting for one of your reviews or some special series with Denny.
Wow, it's a matter of getting Denny and I together.
Yeah, you get Denny involved. You and Denny will be great because you know more about it. You got an enthusiasm. Ian Dell, name one very popular TV series that you think is total crap. Mine is Rising Damp. That's interesting. It's truly dreadful. I've watched a couple of episodes recently, see if my opinion has changed. But no, I must admit I enjoy Rising Damp. But
well, So, in other words, what other people class as absolutely
Yeah,
fantastic.
I know, because I always say it. We've had this question before, but I cannot stand the guy, and it's Up the Elephant and Castle or whatever. I can't stand Jim Davidson.
Is that going back far enough though?
Yeah,
Rising Damp is 70s.
yeah, but that Jim Davidson was awful, wasn't it? I mean,
Well,
God.
you know what I feel about that bloody show.
Yeah, terrible. What else was total crap? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's probably loads. ITV at one time were churning out loads of comedies.
Oh, I'll tell you what.
Probably nobody forgets.
I'll tell you what. One that I watch, and it's not awful, but it's bad as far as I'm concerned, and that is The Rag Trade.
Ah,
if we're going back that far, I will say The Rag Trade, because I can watch I can watch George and Mildred, I can watch Man About the House, I can watch Love Thy Neighbor, I can watch all of those things. But one that was absolutely top notch in regards to ratings, The Rag Trade was a good show. Was a show that made ratings. Ratings winner for London Weekend Television.
Yeah.
But when I watch it, I go, "Oh my god!" I mean, I could mention a really, really bad one, and it's very, very easy, and it's called "Don't Drink the Water."
Oh yeah,
which is the follow-up which is Blake over to Spain with his sister. Or something. It is truly dreadful. It is recognized as being dreadful, but the trouble is, everybody thinks it's dreadful. I don't think there's anybody who turned around and said there's a good thing to say about it. But the Rag Trade, there's probably people out there that go, "Oh no, I think the Rag Trade's all right." I actually can watch it just about, but it's pretty dreadful. Really dreadful. I do understand the philosophy of all these women doing stitching and all that, and they're trying to get one up on the boss and all of that sort of stuff. But I didn't even like the bloody theme tune. The Rag Trade. Crap.
Oh dear. I can't. There's some that I just, I mean, Arthur Mullard, I never was that keen on him, really. He seemed like a one-trick pony in his comedy. He wasn't that particularly very funny. He had some series, I can't even think what they were.
What's that?
Like Arthur Mullard ones. I just didn't like him. I didn't get on.
Oh, yeah, Yus, my dear. And all that.
Was it? Oh, God. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I really liked things like Selwyn Froggatt. I like the Gaffer. I even like Brass. Brass was weird. Brass was a weird show.
Yeah,
I watched it the other day on.
It's not Brass is all right. No, Brass is good.
Brass is all right.
Yeah.
But there is stuff that is really, really quite poor. Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
I mean, London Weekend Television, like you say, they did one about bin men. They did one about milkmen.
It's the dustbin.
You know what I mean? Because they had people like Robin Asquith that played a milkman or something.
Yeah, that didn't do that well. It got cancelled. I think.
You even had some such fantastic comedians as Spike Lee.
Oh,
and he did Curry and Chips or something, which is a band.
Is it one of the band ones?
Band ones, where he's got English people dressed up as Indians. All sorts of stuff. Right?
Yeah.
I didn't like spin-offs of popular shows, like you had people that worked in Are You Being Served, and then they were in
Grace and Favor
spin-off shows like Grace and Favors. I think it was carrying on something.
Yeah, it was such a good series. Are You Being Served that you didn't need it. You didn't need a spin-off.
Yeah.
It's like did they ever try spin-off series of Dad's Army? Was there ever with Corporal Jones or something? Or maybe I'm wrong there.
Ooh, I don't think they
think
did.
they did. No,
I don't think David Croft did that.
No, well, that was good. I'm glad they didn't, but you could imagine they could have done something like that, couldn't you?
Yeah.
But they didn't. Oh, well, of course, I'm forgetting he got his own, didn't he get his series after that recording chart?
Oh, what?
Clive
What?
Dunn.
Whispering Grass.
No, Clive Dunn. Do you remember?
Oh, Clive Dunn. Oh, Grandad.
Granddad. Did he get a series of that? They did one series, and it wasn't very good.
Yeah.
It's pretty bad.
But even Ronnie Barker had one season stuff. I think Clarence was 2 seasons. I think that was about okay.
Yeah.
But he did one that was set in Wales.
Yeah.
Which I think it was called the Magnificent Evans.
That's
something.
right. Yeah. Yeah.
That didn't survive.
No, not everything would do.
Spike Milligan. Yeah, sorry, I was talking about Spike Milligan. Spike Lee. Spike Milligan.
Yeah.
But you know, I mean, this is where I'm saying you can go down a rabbit hole of oh my God, wasn't that bad?
Yeah.
But you've also got the ones that are just up there, like I feel, you know, like the Goodies. And, you know, I can watch these things over and over again, and yet they really should be poor now. You shouldn't be watching them at all.
Yeah.
But you know, I quite like the Goodies. You know,
I think there's sometimes like I never liked it at the time that much. Maybe I wasn't ready for it, but Till Death Do Us Part, which was a massive series. For
the Undertakers in Yorkshire with For a Herd. Is that it?
I don't remember.
Loving Memory,
remember. Yeah,
that's in Loving Memory, isn't it?
Yeah, but I was thinking of Warren Mitchell as Alf Garnett was a big thing for.
Oh right, yeah.
But they did.
I was a big fan of the 60s and 70s stuff. I was actually a very big fan of the 80s at the beginning. When they were both together. When she died, the best thing that they did was they brought back a character that I've forgotten her name now. Really going to piss me off. She's absolutely fantastic. She's in the Love of Ada. What's her name?
Is it Pat Coombs playing?
No one as gross as. Pat Coombs was in another one where she was in a rest home, weren't she? With this horrible backlax old type.
Peggy Mounts. Yes,
Peggy Mount. Yeah, bloody hell, that was awful.
Yeah.
I've forgotten what it is, what her name is, and it's really annoying me.
Well.
Yeah, forget her. But anyway, she was a sort of like a really lovable but deaf person that only turned up every now and again because it was really Alf Garnett's neighbor when they were in the old series. Right?
Oh right, yeah,
they'd been one of those characters. And she was absolutely brilliant. And she walked into Alf Garnett's living room and took all her clothes off, thinking she was in the doctor's office. It's absolutely brilliant. I mean, put your clothes on, you daft bag, eh? She's going, hey, what? Absolutely fantastic. I really do need. She's in Maggie. She's in Maggie, I think. Carry on talking.
Right. Okay. I'll go on to another comment. Okay. Tony says, I've not seen Rising Damp for years. I did enjoy it. The actual comedy writing wasn't perhaps the best, but I did like the characters. Actually, I think you agree that Rising Damp is all about the characters, even if it's not always very funny. I think the characters are really good, and that's what it is all about. That
right. By the way, it was Irene Handel.
That's it, Irene Handel. Yeah,
like I said, The Love of Ada. I like that comedy show.
Yeah,
and Irene Handel, what a character she was. What? Yeah. Nobody really talks about Irene Handel, but whenever she turned up as a guest in something, she just took over that show.
Oh right, yeah. I do
Brilliant.
remember. Yeah.
Carry on. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
That's all right. That right. I know what you mean about Rising Damp. It is the characters. It definitely is the characters.
Oh, Rising Damp, wasn't it something Chapel?
Yeah, Eric Chappell.
Eric Chapel, isn't it?
That's it. Yeah, he wrote that. Yeah. And then we've got Rock Bunny 71. Hey Steve, miss your vids. What do you think of Rise of Reggie Perrin? I watched it again last year when I got made redundant, and man, that made me laugh. Yeah, I think underrated.
I'll tell you when that my mum always turned around and said this. She said, "Do you know what? The thing that used to make you laugh and you'd laugh out loud, and I can't remember it, was every time he thought of his mother-in-law.
The hippopotamus.
Right?
Yes.
And she said, and the next time that you wanted to watch it and you couldn't stop watching it was when it got to the stage of opening shops called Grot. You thought that was hilarious.
Yeah.
And I went, it's funny because when I think back at it, I always remember him not liking his boss and said, I didn't get here today by not doing whatever it was, right? It had characters like that. That's right. Yeah, DJ. And when he opened up his own sort of like resort or something in his house or something. Lots of stuff.
Yeah.
I did like that show.
Yeah. It was different. It was different. And it was good. I think it was, it was a lot of different contrast to Rising Damp. And I think that was good.
Yeah.
Different contrast. And then Steve's game says, thanks, Rock Bunny. I really can't say as I don't remember watching it.
Oh my God. I'm gonna rib him about that. You little sod with that picture of all of that TV stuff can't remember the rise and fall of Red. You bastard. You're not gonna live with that. You are not gonna live to forget what you just said
there. Tony says, Vary Leon had small parts and some large ones, in some carry-ons, and a Bond or two as well. Oh, wow.
I think actually she's in on Her Majesty's Secret Service, if I'm not.
Yes, I think you're right. Mind you, there's quite a few in that at the.
Well, you got Joanna Lumley famously, haven't you?
Yeah.
That's how she began. What she says, she's a Bond girl, and I'm going, how can you call yourself a Bond girl because you're in the background or something?
Yeah.
Right? This thing. Did you say anything in there? I can't remember. Did you actually have a word really in that? That's saying something.
Yeah, there's all that group of women in there together that Telly Savalas is.
They're all mesmerized by what Bond's next word is going to be. All on settees or whatever it was.
And his kilt. They're always making jokes about his kilt. What's he got under his kilt?
What's under his kilt? I'll tell you what, there's a few going on there. That's what you want to say, isn't it?
Steve's Gaming Part 2, Porterhouse Blue was really good. Yeah, he remembers that as well. Yeah.
Like I said, I thought originally it was going to be like Mr. Chips.
Yeah. And Tony agrees with you. I didn't like Thin Blue Line either.
No, just didn't get on with it.
Yeah. And then Rock Bunny 71, I have to admit, I shared Dell's opinion with regard British Empire. Barry is such a talented actor, but I always thought he was trying to do a poor impression of Kenneth Williams.
You know what? That's so insightful. That's so insightful. That's what I think, right? It's like he talked through his nose.
You're right. Yeah, that's spot on. That is. I've never thought of that.
Didn't think of it that way, but yeah,
that's right.
I just didn't get on with it.
Yeah. Well, he says that Tony says his voice was reminiscent of Kenneth Williams in that series. That's what he was trying to do. I think it was. Yeah. It didn't work, did it? It just didn't work.
Not to me. The setting of it being in a gymnasium as well doesn't really do me with.
I couldn't stand Thin Blue Line, even though it had Rudolph Walker in it. I really like him. Yeah, I like Rudolph Walker. He's good. Yeah, he's in EastEnders now. Still.
Yeah, he's the Love Thy Neighbour, isn't he?
Yeah, Love Thy Neighbour. Yeah, he's getting on a bit. I'm sure he's
in EastEnders, isn't he?
Yeah,
or he was the last time I heard he was in EastEnders. I don't know.
Yeah, he's in EastEnders. Yeah. I couldn't rewatch the British Empire purely because of the woman on reception was a kid. She made me want to throw things at the TV. Annoying.
Annoying pictures.
Yeah.
That sounds like. Do you know? I've spoken to Steve. I can hear him saying that. Annoying bitch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I could hear him say that. You know,
yeah. And Tony says, yeah, good in Love Thy Neighbour. He was good in Love Thy Neighbour, yeah.
I used to like it when he used to call him Milk Drop and all that.
And
in the very first episode, he came running in his sort of like tribal gear going, I'm going to put you in the pot.
It did all that stuff. Yeah. Oh, dear. Rocket Bunny 71 says, I have to answer Dell's Picard season 3 question 3 times for me now. Just recently watching Amazon stream in 4K of my new setup. Glorious, simply glorious. Oh
yeah, do you know what? That's the thing, isn't it? I think the first time I watched it, it was when it was being broadcast. I think it was on the Paramount channel, so it would have been 4K.
Yeah,
it was just that the Steelbook came out. It was a Blu-ray release.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I bet you any money that when things go tits up, they're going to release those as 4Ks.
Yeah.
All the new stuff will be out as, we brought it out as Blu-ray for you, but now we're bringing it out in 4K.
Sure
Yeah.
And then Rocket Bunny bangs or
a different word for fringe.
Oh yeah, they could call the new fringe bangs. All right, okay.
Is that the only 2 comments I've got? Everybody out there, I've said, come out with something that's different. I can see a new series. Bangs, is that all we've got?
Yeah.
Well, I'm disappointed.
Yeah.
I have to say, I thought we'd have got about 5, 6 different bloody jokes in regards to fringe.
Yeah.
I came out with 3. Bloody hell.
Rocket Bunny says Red Dwarf would make a good series for Big Finish, in my view. They all seem the same as they always did. Yeah, that's true. Big Finish would be perfect.
It works for Doctor Who. I'm pretty sure
it could work for all that. Yeah, definitely. They ought to do that. Get on with that. Yeah. Jim Davison was always awful. A damn racist too. Yeah, I think we've seen him. Yeah.
I just didn't get on with him. I won't go down of racist and all of this sort of stuff. I didn't rank it. Big break, all of that crap.
Pat Coombs and Blakey from On the Buses. I have the DV box, and yes, it's terrible.
It really is. That bloody. It even had the blue. It even had the guy from Play Away. You know, the black actor.
I know what you mean.
Richard Griffith.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think Play School. Richard Griffith.
Play School.
Yeah.
Even had him as a. I think he was sort of like, if I remember right, he's sort of like the entourage for this hotel that they're in. And it's awful. It's just absolutely awful. It's Derek Griffith.
Tony, he's still peddling his abhorrent views on YouTube. I make a point of deliberately avoiding him. Yeah, he has got a YouTube channel, and he jumps on any bandwagon in the news that he just one of those complete idiots, really.
Who's that? I've lost the thread. Who's that?
That's Jim Davidson.
Yeah.
He's deliberately, he knows he's making money out of. There's a certain group of them. They know that they can make lots of money out of doing these, right wing sort of positions, and that's what he's doing.
I hadn't actually heard anybody mention his name for about 6 years, and I was
that's why he's on YouTube.
I was most happy. I was most happy about that.
Yeah, I am. He was never funny as a comedian.
Now he crops up now and again.
Yeah,
so.
he does. Anything that happens big in world that he thinks is big, that support his views, he's there making a video on it. He'll make some video. He's a bandwagon money making person.
Yeah.
He'll jump on it.
When I heard that he was doing Cinderella on a stage,
he did an adult version
with Charlie Drake.
Yeah. I was drunk all the time.
Well, the trouble is that I know that Steve doesn't like Charlie Drake. To me, he was one of those people that I remember from my childhood and thought he was good, right? I used to love that. Hello, my darling.
I didn't like him. I agree with Steve.
He's got that sort of trace, with the big cheeks and all.
And the worker and all that stuff. I didn't like it that much.
But it's just the thing about it is that because I sort of like some of those films. It was so upsetting to see him in Cinderella because it was like he had no money left. I think he'd got all his divorces and actually kicked in and then took all his money away and all of that. And there was a documentary on him in his later life, and he seemed very resentful to the world. I should have got more than I did, type thing. It's bad because you don't want somebody that was on a high, because even though people don't like him, but there are people that do.
Oh, there's a lot of people that like him.
People don't want to see that sort of thing. Because if you do have a fond memory of him, you don't want to see him be resentful.
No, that's true.
And then, of course, now that he's gone, you can't unsee it.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
You see what I mean? It's like that for me.
Yeah,
I think that that reporter guy as well. That the guy that does all that hard edge stuff. That visiting people in America that are antagonists and that. What's his Louis Theroux?
Louis Theroux. He's a very good.
Louis Theroux did a number of things where he wandered around with people like Keith and Orville, and how he hated life. He was turning around and saying, I used to be a big star. I had a great big duck and it used to sit on my, I had millions and millions. And now look at me, I'm a piece of shit and I'm trying to bounce back. And you watch those things and you go, you know what? I never really liked you as Orville and that monkey and all of that sort of
horrible
stuff.
Yeah.
All the kids that are watching this now that are older and looking at this guy and how resentful he is, I don't know how good that is.
No, it doesn't look good. It doesn't. No.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I heard that about Arthur Mullard, another horrible person and wife beater.
I heard that, yeah.
Not got a good reputation, has he? Tony says Arthur Mullard was an acting masterclass in Just My Dear with the demure, very ladylike
Queenie Watts. Yeah. Don't hear too much about Queenie Watts, do you? Nobody really talks about them. They were in the On the Buses, Holiday on the Buses. They guest starred Arthur Mullard and Queenie Watts.
Yeah.
They were in one of the chalets.
Was she I can't remember Queenie Watts.
It's his wife.
Yeah. All right. Curry and Chips was Spike Milligan, and you can still buy the DVD. No idea why you'd want it. Is it that bad?
Oh, no. Honestly, the clips I've seen of it look awful. Spike Milligan. I can really like some Spike Milligan stuff, and I can really hate. Well,
he's hit and miss. It's very hit and miss.
Because of his war history.
Yeah,
and the fact that he lost his love of his life, and all that sort of stuff, and that I do understand it. You know why
Yeah.
he was off
Yeah.
the wall a little bit. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But when he starts talking about Hitler and all of that in his books, I'm just he
Yeah.
was making parodies and jokes all the way through
Yeah.
about Hitler.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to like that sort of comedy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Somebody like Mel Brooks that does the producers that
It's
makes a
different. Yeah.
parody about it is one thing, but then there's books and books and books of you making jokes about Hitler comes into the room
Yeah.
one day talking to
Yeah.
girls about blah 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 blah. No,
Yeah.
I find it a bit difficult to like
Yeah.
that
I
stuff.
understand. Yeah.
But they had
Yeah.
it. They had his son, I think,
Yeah.
read out some of his hidden diaries and stuff. And it
Yeah.
was very painful to listen to be quite honest.
Yeah.
It was all about, oh, we'll invade Poland tomorrow or something.
Oh, yeah.
All this
Yeah.
sort of stuff.
Sai says something interesting. Going Straight was a poor spin-off. That's the Ronnie Barker one.
Well,
Isn't it?
I'll tell you what, it wasn't a patch on porridge, but I loved it.
Yeah.
I'd have loved to have seen a second season of Going Straight. I think it's really good to have Richard Beckinsale and them back together again, and the fact that he was outside and he was trying to go straight, and he was doing all these jobs, you know, like working as a night security officer and all of this sort of stuff. It actually worked quite well. Richard Beckinsale, though, wasn't in it very often because he was, if I remember rightly, a long distance lorry driver.
Yeah.
In it, so you only ever saw him around the breakfast table or something.
Oh, yeah.
And he was living with Fletch because he'd married his daughter.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Remember rightly.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it for a while, but it was 6 episodes and it was good. And I remember that they'd just finished filming the first season. They were going to start filming or writing the second season. He died 3 or 4 days later. And then Ronnie Barker had to go up and get an award for both of them. And he said, "I've just, we've lost a great actor, and we'll never know what the potential of him was." Never was a truer words said. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But porridge was gold.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to come up with a spin-off that's going to equal that.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, when you consider some of the spin-offs, I'll tell you what, it's a damn sight better than,
And don't forget, if it had have carried on, it might have got a better reputation. Sometimes a second series can change people's ideas of a series.
My friend Maymeister's come in and he said, I've got to read this out because it's quite right. Because I think it's virtually the same myself. He's put, my first ever single I got bought when I was about 5 was My Boomerang Won't Come Back by Charlie. And I remember, do you know what? I think I had that as well, along with Ernie the Milkman and, all those parody type things. The one thing I won't admit to, and I never had it, and is Arthur Mullard singing Grease.
I don't like Grease anyhow, so that's even worse. Oh God, yeah.
Right. He was singing "You're the one that I want."
You're the one that I wanted. Oh boy, God.
I'll admit to a lot of things. I mean, I bought things like Chalk Dust. Do you remember there was John McEnroe's record called Chalk Dust? I remember Shut Up in Your Face. I bought that.
No, that was for number 1. Oh, that was horrible. Yeah. Oh,
what's the matter, you?
Yeah. Please.
I'll admit to shit that I've bought in the past. Right. But you got to remember it was of a certain period I was a certain age.
Well, when you start off, you don't know as much as you buy things and like
somebody's just said here, Going Straight is very good. The theme song is so bloody catchy. Yeah. If you remember Going Straight, it's I'm going straight, my road straight as an arrow. It is catchy.
Yeah.
Paid the price and done me time.
Yeah.
Ronnie Barker, you don't hear him sing very often.
No. Let's see. Tony says, I've seen one episode of Curry and Chips. It's certainly not Spike Tower. I like that understated. I did quite enjoy his Q series of zany sketches.
Well, he even did Dalek sketches in his Q series.
Oh, the Pakistani Daleks he did. Yeah. It's quite controversial now, I think. There's Irene Handel, Del in sickness.
Irene Handel.
Yeah.
Batty as anything, but brilliant.
It says the complete 6 episodes of Curry and Chips is on YouTube. Oh, there you are. If you want to go and.
I think thanks. Thank God you can't post links.
Yeah. And Tony says, "I'll remember to avoid it." Yes, we can easily avoid it. I'm intrigued by it. I may give it a go. Well, that would be interesting.
You're rather you than me.
Yeah. And Mainmeister, evening lads. Glad to hear your plays on the Mendian. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, it'll be going to work soon. What
a nice thing to say.
It is. Thank you so much for asking that. Yeah. And then
you're like him because he's a northerner.
Yeah, he's from Scotland. Yeah,
see, he fits in that northern aspect of all of our people that come in here. And I'm that southern softy that you keep bloody having a badgering at.
He's about Derek Griffiths.
Derek
Griffiths. And then Tony says, I watched Oh Lucky Man. Oh yeah, Malcolm McDowell's follow-up to If. I love it. If is fantastic. About 3 hours long, but didn't it seem to drag? A great satire on big business and government greed and corruption. Some good support. Yeah, I read it wrong, but didn't seem to drag. So it's one that I've got to see that. If I absolutely love, and it's the follow-up, isn't it, that he made? And then he did another one. There's a trilogy, National Health, I think the last one is they did.
Yeah.
Supposed to be good. Continue. Oh, from Helen Mirren and Arthur Lowe, amongst others. Also, that early Helen Mirren and Arthur Lowe. Arthur Lowe does pop up in a few things, doesn't he?
He was in Theatre of Blood, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He was the one who had his head chopped off.
While
he was lying in bed.
Yeah.
So while he was lying in bed and his wife was next to him, Vincent Price came in and stuck an injection in her backside. She goes, and then all you hear is this sawing noise, and the next morning his head bloody rolls on the floor.
Yeah. I'm still thinking that one, the poodle. Is the
feeding his dogs to him.
Yeah. It's so.
And then, I'll tell you what, I do love that film. I don't care what.
I do. I think it's good fun. I like the Shakespeare theme. I love it. I think it's great. He's a great actor. Vincent Price is just so good.
Yeah, but you like it because Diana Riggs in it.
And Diana Riggs in it.
I like it because it's good. You're just a perv with Diana Riggs. You are. If she was frumpy with bloody scarves all around her, you'd still like it.
Yep. And then Maymeister says, true story, I speak to Jim Davison's daughter in a professional basis.
Oh, wow.
That is
Oh, well, we're sorry that we haven't got Jim Davison's fan club in it.
Yeah.
So sorry to say. Might want to ask her to avoid watching it.
And here he says, he's getting back to, what? I like Charlie Drake. He likes Charlie. He's a fan of Charlie Drake.
I'm sure he said he did not like Charlie.
And then Waymaster, my first ever single I got bought was about 5 was My Boomerang Won't Come Back by Charlie Drake, which you mentioned, didn't you? And then Steve's Game says, I remember that Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then Tony says Davidson and his ilk are professional grifters making money from stirring up trouble while pretending to be all for everyday working man. That's true. That's what they do. They pretend that they're all for the working man, and they're just there to make money. Yeah, that's all they're there for.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's put this. And then Tony says, getting back to Malcolm McDowell, there was a documentary on the DVD telling about his life. I never knew he was a Yorkshireman. But Horsforth, oh my God, Guinea Hand, Reet Grant, Horsforth, yeah, oh yeah, Horsforth. I've been to Horsforth quite a bit. It wasn't that far away from where I live, really. Yeah, Horsforth. Bayek. I like going straight, to be honest. These gaming says, yeah.
You see, I quite like where you live, right? Because if there ever was a nuclear war, right, nobody's heard of your place up north that you'd survive because nobody knows that it exists. We'll all be dead, but where you are up north, nobody's heard of it. So you can't destroy something you've never heard of. So there you are.
Do you think you'd be getting all the stuff where Birmingham was a target? All the stuff would come over from Birmingham.
I'm obliterated, and you're still stuck in your going. Wonder what happened? There was a big bang then.
Yeah. Oh dear.
Because I reckon up north it's like Narnia.
Oh. Well, I wish it was sometimes. Narnia. A bit of Narnia.
I mean, it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's,
Narnia. Right. And then
I come up with some absolute crap sometimes.
Yeah, Del, I quite liked Going Straight too. Watched it a few months ago as I didn't know it existed. Well, there you are. Yeah.
Oh, I'll tell you what, they did a sequel, didn't they? To The Man from U.N.C.L.E. Right?
Oh.
They did a Girl from U.N.C.L.E., didn't they?
Oh yes, they did a Girl from U.N.C.L.E. Yeah, I remember the Girl from U.N.C.L.E.
Did you ever watch that? Because I think I watched probably a couple of episodes.
No, I don't think I ever watched, but I knew they did it. Yeah.
I'll tell you what's so good about The Man from U.N.C.L.E. He's got Jerry Goldsmith score. Oh, get something.
No. I thought we've got that out of the way.
He did the main Anyway, carry on.
Yeah. Okay, we won't waste anymore. And the B side was Mr. Custer. Is that the Boomerang one? Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait till you get to this last comment. Look, that Rocket Bunny's got. I've got to read it out. It says, first single confessions. Not easy, this. The Swap Shop theme with the presenters singing, if I recall. The Swap Shop theme, right, was the B-side of a single called I Just Want to Be a Winner by a band called Brown Sauce, which was Noel Edmonds, Keith Chegwin, and Maggie Rubin.
Yeah. Lovely.
And I even know the words to the damn thing.
Oh, no.
Right? Because it was all about winning an Oscar, right? It was because they had something called an Eric that you won.
Yeah.
You could win an Eric, right? But everything was rhyming. It was like how did it go when just bear. Don't want to dance like Fred Astaire. Be a Superman through the air. Don't want to join Claire Francis in the riggings.
Oh.
Pot the black with Hurricane Higgins.
Oh no.
And it went on like that until it went, I just want to be a winner. Just a little Oscar, please. Even Eric will serve me well. Feel one, touch one, win an award. That was it. Something like that. And that's from memory. That's from memory. That really is from memory.
That's really scraping the bottom of the barrel in the memory.
That's like 1981. Must be.
Oh wow, yeah. Right. We've got here indie remix. Hello. Going Straight is very good, and the theme song is so bloody catchy. Yeah.
I'm going.
Yeah.
Right.
Mainmeister, got no respect. What do you think you do? Hey.
Yeah,
Yeah.
shut up in your face.
Yeah, I know.
You know what? I think, if I remember rightly, the B side of that was. It'll come back to me. I know it. I know it.
Oh dear.
The first side.
I'd forgotten Arthur had a pop career. Thankfully.
Yeah, Arthur Mullard had a pop career.
Old Arthur, with You're the One That I Want. Yeah. Oh dear. I guess that I'm only one who didn't like Going Straight.
I don't say that, Si. I mean, there's a lot of people that won't like spin-offs and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, going straight is not as good as Porridge.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think anybody will turn around and say, "Oh yeah, it's better." It's so much better than some other ones.
Yeah,
come off from an absolute golden show like Porridge's, as far as I'm concerned. They'd get a silver award. Take it like that.
Yeah. Britannia Hospital is the third in the trilogy after If. Yeah, that's it, Ian. It's well worth a watch. Out on Indicator. Yeah, I have seen it on Indicator. Yeah. Del, you're so southern. You've got a coat on indoors. You'll be
it's a fleece.
Take up here for that.
I'll tell you what, it's a fleece, and the reason it's on is because my mum has got my heater because I want her to get warm when she's getting dressed to go to bed.
Yeah.
Because the room that she's in has got tiled floor, and I said to my sister, we can't really afford to buy another heater that we've got already in the living room. I'll tell you what, Mum can have my heater, and we put it in there, and I turn it on at 7 a.m. It goes off where we get her out of bed and she's dressed, and it's on an hour before she goes to bed. And it's just one of those ceramic heaters that you'd put in a caravan to heat up, which is probably draining all of our electricity, but that's why it's on for an hour, and you shut the door and it warms the room up and it keeps it warm until she's in. Yeah. So it's bloody freezing in my room at the moment. All right. Cold. So I've got a fleece on. All right.
Right.
I'm a southern softie. I can't take the cold. Right?
Rock Bunny 71. First single, Confessions. Not easy, this. The swap shop theme with the presenters.
Yeah, that's what I just read out. And it was called Brown's. It was by a band called Brown Sauce. It was made of Noel Edmonds, and it was I Just Want to Be a Winner.
Yeah.
It came out the same month as the theme tune to Monkey. Take it like that. I bought the theme tune to Monkey, and I don't mind saying it.
There you are. I'm going to say, the first single I ever bought was Gilbert O'Sullivan, Ooh Wackadoo Wackaday. So I've got note to be proud of. Though I did like Gilbert O'Sullivan.
The first single you ever bought, they didn't have the bloody speed set up, did they? On the record player. We had to crank it up and hope that you got to the right speed. Was it you?
And the second
you were before Al Johnson, weren't you?
Cheeky booker. The second one I bought was Sugar Me, Lindsay DePaul. Oh, I still love Lindsay DePaul. Who cannot love Lindsay DePaul? She was.
I don't know, because I didn't really like her I didn't really like the single Rock Bottom.
No, actually, I pretend that didn't happen. I love Lindsay DePaul.
She's a great She's a great piano player.
Yeah, she was great. I loved her, but that one didn't happen. That was a Eurovision Song Contest thing.
I'm sorry to say that it did, and she came second. So.
Was it with? She also did some stuff with Barry Blue, I think, as well.
Oh, probably
Barry Blue, but overall, I liked her. I remember her first album I bought was absolutely fantastic. She done all these. She was a great cartoonist and draw artist, and she did all the lyrics, and all these were illustrated. And I really loved her. I thought she was great as a singer songwriter. Yeah. And did you know she had a long-term relationship with James Coburn, which reminded me when I saw that film.
Oh, did she really?
Yeah. They were together for quite a long time.
How many albums did she come out with?
Oh, I think on the MAM label, the first label, I think there was 3. I think there would have been 3. And then she did another one on another label, Jet, I think label or something like that it was called. And another 2, I think, on that. So there's only about 5 albums, but most people will never have heard the later ones.
No, it's just I remember my mum talking about it, and I can't remember if it was late 60s to mid 70s that she was prolific, or whether she was just early 70s to about 3/4 of the 70s.
And
78.
She died so young, really.
Well, she did.
Young. She's very
thin, very sort of like pretty type girl, really.
Yeah, and she was in
had a beauty spot, didn't she?
Yeah, because she sort of had a revival in her career, but it was for different. She did self-defense videos, and they were quite big sellers. But tragically, she died. I was really upset when she died. It was part of my childhood.
Was it the cancer? Was it the cancer?
I think it could well have been, yeah, something like that. It was just so. I'd not heard anything about her, and then I just heard that she died, and it was so sad, because it was like part of your. When it's a cliche, people say part of your childhood, and that's what it felt like to me. Oh no.
Anyway, we better get crack-a-lacking, haven't we, with these? Because we said
I saw this week Noddy Older. He doesn't look very good.
No, he doesn't. I saw a picture of him as well. I don't know if it was because it was on telly. I saw a picture of him.
It was very sad. Seeing that.
So what we got next?
Thanks, Del. I feel a bit better now. Right, okay. Watched Gangster Squad, this is Tony York, based on a true story of a 1940s Los Angeles gang boss brought to justice by an elite group of police. Made a change for it to be set away from the usual Chicago, New York. Yeah, and that's what you often get, Chicago and New York. So that sounds good.
And just so you know, it will be probably winging its way in the post to my friend Ian, probably in the next 6 months, where we'll be talking all about it again, because that bastard Tony York sends stuff in the post all the bloody time to him, and we that's why we can't get rid of the little song.
Anyhow, Sai says my first single was "I Wish I Could Fly" by Keith Harris. And
I told you it was that Louis Theroux, and I tell you what, he could not go on. He could not. This Keith Harris was so resentful. It was such a bad thing. But he was. You could not come away feeling sorry for Keith Harris when you watched this documentary. It really was quite fun. But I wish I could fly.
Oh no!
You can
strangle it. Get rid of it.
Bloody had that horrible voice.
It was sick bag time. Yeah. Wow, so that's a doozy. Yeah, that's a word. I like doozy. What a great.
You know what? I'd have rather have had E.T. come out with a single.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I was young. This is what we have to say. I was young. I didn't know any better. No, I think I agree.
No,
I
I'm
think
sorry.
I remember my dad saying,
That's not an excuse. You
yeah.
live up north.
Do you remember?
You know full well where every penny comes from. You went into Woolworths or wherever it was, Boots or WH Smiths, right? And you bought that shit, and it went to number one. And it was down to you guys like there doing all that shit. Because I'll tell you what, down south, we were going, what's this crap? And you guys were buying it.
I'll tell you what was.
It's all your fault. I reckon it went to number one because of your particular purchase. It nudged it and took away whatever was at number two that week.
Oh, dear.
I told you I have to rant at everybody. Size was just that point there. Tony was just now, you know.
I remember my dad thinking that me and my brother liked this record. It was a single. Do you remember Pinky and Perky?
Well, of course we
do. Blooming heck!
What about the chipmunks?
Oh no, chipmunks!
Jesus,
absolutely awful. Wow, Del, Monkey is way cooler than Swap Shop. Oh, right.
I suppose it is because it had. The monkey theme was really quite good, but on the other side, it was the end credits. In Pandora or whatever.
Yeah.
You can't even mention that bloke's name on this.
Yeah, channel. I know, and it's even, and in a way, that title of that song is even worse when we know
it is because I used to love that song as well.
Yeah, I know.
It's a sad song, isn't it? It's a sad song about like boys that one went off the war and didn't come back. You know, I mean, at the end of the day,
it's ruined by him.
Ruined because that bastard sang it.
Yeah, it was a creep again. Another creep. Hey, Tony York. At least it's not Gary Glitter. Oh God, yeah, I know. My brother had the album, that Glitter album. Oh my God. It's terrible. And then Steve's getting back to, I love Swap Shop. I managed to do a swap when they came to Blackpool. And to this day, I still remember the swap stop.
Oh, yeah. That's easy.
Yes, I'm aware that's sad.
It's 01 811 8055. But everybody knows that. It's like Tiswas is Birmingham B1 to JP. They're sort of like things that are ingrained in your mind. But yeah, I could just imagine Steve going up there in Swap Shop and basically there he is on the beach and they say, so Steve, what are you selling today? And he'll be going, oh wow, you see, I want that person's kaplunk over there, and if he doesn't give it me, I'm going to give him a chips. I'm going to give him a punch sandwich. There you are. So if he doesn't bring it over here, I'm sure he'll swap it for me because otherwise he's going to get hiding. That's his swap. His swap was to swap fists. That's Steve's swap.
Now Tony says, I like the flashing blade theme.
You got to write for what you want or all that you believe. Yeah, the flashing blade.
And then Rock Bunny 71 says, thankfully, I didn't buy any Pinky and Perky. My dad, I'll blame my dad. My parents had them, so I didn't need to. Yes, I know. My dad thought it was hilarious. I didn't. It's funny. It wasn't funny. That's all. All right. So we've reached the end of the comments. And thank you, everyone who's contributed. And thank you, everybody watching. Really appreciate you tuning in, listening to us. And thank you, as ever, Delboy, for being part of this. It's great.
I've had immense fun, as always.
Yeah, and we'll be back next Wednesday.
I'm sorry you've had to listen to my singing. Through this. But there was so many theme tunes here. I could not really.
Ty said I was always a Tiswan's fan over Swap Shop, and
but look, go back to that. See that Swap Shop. Look, Did you do know that in Swap Shop, right, there was a little purple dinosaur, right? It was called Posh Paws. Right? Look what Swap Shop is backwards. Posh Paws.
Oh, yeah, I get you. Yeah.
See, we know all these things later on.
All these wonderful things.
I love Tiswa. This is what they want. The Phantom Flag thing. This is what they want. Give them what they want. Sally James, come over here. Show us your boobs. Come on. This is that is Tiswas. Swap Shop was like, I'm Noel Edmonds, and it's now today we're going to be having a chat with ABBA, and we've got Maggie Philbin who's over there, and she's going to be having a chat with John Craven because she's going to be doing the new segment this week. I mean, boring. We wanted the Phantom Flag. We wanted the dying party. This is what we wanted. We wanted custard pies, and we wanted Big Daddy getting on a wave and blowing it up. We wanted.
Here we go. Yeah. Right. We've got Tony saying good night, all. Great fun. Thank you, Tony, as ever. Thank you for being there. Brilliant. And Sai says night, guys, and thanks for the movie chat. Well, you're welcome. We enjoy you being here.
It was more TV chat than movie chat, wasn't it, really? If you think about it, but you know.
But we do anything. We do anything, don't we? We do anything.
Anything, anytime. We're the goodies.
Yeah. And then Rob, a pleasure, guys. Thanks. My first but not last for sure. Well, thank you so much. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Really glad.
Happy memories with Rocket Bunny, I tell you.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you, everybody, as I said, for being here and enjoying us going on. We love it every week. So I'll just say thank you so much, Delboy, and we'll give our farewells as well.
Well, it's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from him.
Good night. No, but I always say on my channel, salute, because I'm a big Frankie Howard fan. But thanks very much for watching, and please subscribe and like this guy because he's solid.
Thank you. And all I've got to say is please subscribe to Delboy. I've just remembered I need to be shot.
He does, he does this every time. There's about 5 people watching. There was about 25 earlier, right? And he says, right at the end, oh, by the way, subscribe to this guy.
It's in the description. So please subscribe if you haven't. It's got a great channel, and I should have done it earlier. I'm terribly sorry, but I'll do it. But anyhow,
checks in the post.
Checks in the post. So please do that. He's got a great channel, absolutely wonderful channel. Go over and check it out. Fantastic channel, and that's it. So all I've got to say is, I'll see thee again. And you should be Dell's agent. Like I'm not going to get any money out of him. What the heck?
Hell. Dell's agent. I mean, that's like slitting my wrist, slitting my throat now, isn't it? I mean, gee,
I'm not going to get anything from him. Well, by heck. Well, great. Okay. Bye, everyone. Bye. And we go. Bye.